What you think about when you're born into a fire. Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, we kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the
Federal.
race. Wake at the back of the
That's federal.
way to play. Haters face the world's mistake.
That's federal. Don't worry about it.
Back, we kill it anyway.
I don't think they know the difference between precedent and presidents. Not that I'm the guy to like correct pronunciation, but you can tell I'm saying two different words, right?
Wake
What do you call a dad that has fallen through the ice? A popsicle. See what they did there? The whole show was an argument with these people. The whole show. Every bit of it. You don't have to, again, it would be really shitty if people had to wait till you committed a crime to be charged with a crime or an accompanied crime, right? So you couldn't like bust somebody for conspiracy. You literally had to wait for them to attempt to murder someone. You couldn't do conspiracy to commit murder. Like that's crazy, right? Jesus Christ. Anyways, here we go.
Hey daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Burr.
Trump should have just
I think
complied.
that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is
Should have just complied.
Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome. What's up, guys? Welcome. I'm Will Bird, Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. What's going on? Last night's show got a little heated with the chat. Not all the chat, just a lot of the chat. The same people that be like, that black guy should have just complied, are like, our justice system's fucked. I don't know. It's been weird 24 hours, but Phil's got all the answers. We'll check them out here in a minute. What have you guys been up to? RSS, what? What is this? Civil War Revolution dissolve the Union. Red Step Stacker says, what's next for America? Civil War Revolution dissolve the Union.
PR_ you betcha just resubscribed for 23 months.
Uh-oh, almost 2 years. It's already banned? You just shared the link. Oh, no. Okay. Maybe that one link was bad.
Good morning, America. Hello, redheaded step family. It's going to be
go. Let's see what's up.
Gorgeous day here in Henderson, Kentucky. Gosh, it's got to be about 65 now. Headed up to the...
This is an old nemesis of the show. If you're kind of newer on the show, you haven't been here for like years, you don't know Red Step Stacker. Me and Sage used to do a show together where we challenged people to call in because so many people said that we were wrong. We challenged people to call in, and no one ever would because they were scared. But this guy called in one time. Him and Sage got into a big argument. Then he found out that Sage doesn't like Liberty Warrior, and he called us both Antifa and said he could prove it. Then he kind of disappeared for a while.
The low 80s with not too much sun, a good day to do some work in the garage. I'm going to mute my microphone for a second. We're going to watch a short video, and then we're going to have a little discussion.
Okay,
find
let's
some
do it.
information on the back tail end of this. Very interesting. It turns out that Judge...
So he started his channel collecting silver. That's why his name is something Stacker. The people that collect precious metals call themselves stackers because they stack silver or gold, whatever. But he claims that one of these coin shows that some special forces colonel, something other came and trained him in covert operations. So now he can identify what's going on with the U.S. government and around the world. That's his claim to authority. He also has a adult-themed puppet show.
Juan Merchan is actually getting money laundered to him directly to his daughter's front door. Millions and millions and millions.
The average American.
So that's that. Again, we can address the daughter again. The daughter works for a marketing company that works for political campaigns. The daughter does not get money from Joe Biden. First of all, the daughter's job is irrelevant, right? We trust a judge to do his job no matter what their kids do, no matter what this one does, no matter what that one does. I'm sure there's a lot of federal judges that their kids work in politics, right? Because they got the in. They got a hand up. Oh, you're such and such. Oh, yeah, we can get you a job, right? The buddy system. But she does not get paid directly from Kamala Harris or Biden. That's just dumb if we're going to worry about her job. She works for a company. She gets paid by her boss. Her boss picks up clients. Some of those clients are Democrats that are running. But to say that because she gets because Democrats pay a company that pays her, that she's paying her dad for the Trump, well, how fucking stupid.
Thinks that the framers gave us the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution, the right to keep and bear arms, so that we could go deer and duck hunting. But that's not why the framers of the Constitution gave us the Second Amendment. They explicitly said to enable the American people to protect themselves against their elected representatives. The average American thinks that the framers gave us the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution, the right to keep and bear arms, so that we could go deer and duck hunting. But that's not why the framers of the Constitution gave us the Second Amendment. They explicitly said to enable the American people to protect themselves against their elected representatives.
Out Laura Loomer on Twitter. She couldn't have done a better job. New York Democrat Governor Kathy Hochul has sent nearly $700,000 in payments to the personal home residence of Lauren Mershon, the daughter of Judge Juan Mershon. As President Trump trial enters its sixth week in New York City, I've discovered that New York Democrat Governor Kathy Hochul, another Trump hater, she showed that just a couple of days ago, is a client of New York Judge Mershon's daughter, Lauren Mershon, who is the president of the Democrat consulting firm Authentic Campaigns, Authentic HQ. It's based in Chicago. Yesterday, when President Trump held a rally in the Bronx, New York Governor Hochul went on CNN with fake
She works at a digital marketing company, and her clients are all political clients.
Tapper called Trump supporters who showed up to the Bronx rally clowns. We've all seen that clip. We've all seen the clip. According to records in New York State Board of Elections database, Hochul has sent $689,974.35 to Lauren Mershon's personal home residence in Richmond, Virginia. So Kathy Hochul, governor of New York, has sent
for her campaign
to the judge's daughter. Of
this doesn't even prove that. This doesn't even prove that she even likes these people or supports these people or voted for these people. All this proves is that she did work for them.
Money trial case to her resident in Virginia. The company is based in Chicago. Connect the dots there if you can. This comes after I also exposed how New York Democrat Congressman Dan Goldman has sent hundreds of thousands of dollars to Lauren's house, and she exposed yesterday New York Democrat
Yes, it is. So the address that she's using is for the company, right? It's her company because it's a digital company. They all work online. They all work remote. They're a marketing company.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, he's the Dollar Tree Obama. She calls him that, Dollar Tree Barack Obama. The Democrat House Minority Leader has sent nearly $1.5 million to Lauren Mershon's personal home address, where she lives with her husband, Taylor Harper, who is an employee at Joe Biden's United States Census Bureau. So you've got Lauren Mershon has a company.
At Joe Biden's United States Census Bureau. Really? He just started working there as soon as Joe Biden was elected? Are you sure he didn't work there under Trump as well? That he works at the census, that's his job? No, he works for Joe Biden's Census Bureau.
She's paid millions by Democrat operatives. Her husband works for Joe Biden's U.S. Census Bureau.
Joe Biden's Census Bureau. Remember, it's Joe Biden's.
Here. Okay. She goes on to say, isn't it interesting how so many of the most highly profile elected Democrats in New York are clients of Judge Mershon's daughter and have sent her millions of dollars in total to her personal residence, as opposed to sending...
No, she has a decent company. And it seems like she works for a lot of candidates. And not all of them are even Democrats. And the area she's in is heavily Democratic. It has heavy Democrats elected. But I'm sure she has candidates from across the aisle.
Checks to the Authentic Campaign headquarters in Chicago. Legal fees, right? Legal fees. That's what they're trying to get Donald Trump on, is legal fees. He paid a lawyer. The lawyer paid the money. Meanwhile, they're just sending money directly, just backing up the Ryder truck full of cash to Judge Mershon's daughter's house. She goes on to say, the Biden-Harris campaign and Senator Chuck Schumer are also paid clients of Judge Mershon's daughter. Biden-Harris campaign. You like that? It's really starting to look like money laundering operation, isn't it? Why won't the House GOP, that's the Republicans, they're lame, they're castrated, they're eunuchs. Why won't they investigate this? Why won't the House Oversight Committee investigate this? It's very interesting that they won't.
So they got married in June of 2022, it looks like. She is the current president and partner of Authentic Campaigns, a political consulting firm. He keeps saying Joe Biden as if he's doing something sinister for working for the Census Bureau. Joe Biden's Census Bureau, where he works for Joe Biden's he's a geographer that works for the Census Bureau. What do you think he's doing, bro? giving hand jobs to jury members.
5x5, good morning. Corn Pop, Tom C, Wanda, no going to be a revolution, but riots are coming in hot. Beware, be prepared. Good point. That's not what I was going to start on. That's what I was going to end on.
Not going to be a revolution, but riots are coming in hot. Be aware, be prepared. I don't know why this guy can't read.
But I would recommend that you definitely get.
That is from this is an actual user on YouTube. And her username says, her name is Wanda McJabuni. Wanda McJabuni says, not going to be a revolution, but riots are coming in hot. Be aware, be prepared. Wanda McJabuni with our tip of the week. Uh-oh, Bertie, thank you.
I'm
a little bit drunk.
Who's that?
I'm a little bit drunk because I'm drinking,
Oh, no.
drinking.
Put them tots
I'm a
away.
little bit drunk. I'm a little bit drunk.
Jesus.
I'm drinking.
The SS Snaggletooth coming right through. Thank you very much, Bergie.
I would say it's a good time to make sure you got ammo
Ammo.
or a gun. Or if you can't have a gun or you don't have the money for a gun, there are
A big stick. Maybe a bat with some barbed wire wrapped around it, like Negan.
really good lasers. You want to get a green or a blue.
A really, really good laser. We're entering fifth dimension warfare. Get you a laser.
Laser. Those are very intense. Those will blind your enemy immediately, and you don't have to kill them. So that's kind of. They also probably work very, very effectively because that beam goes for miles and miles and miles. I know I turned mine on and made sure that there were no airplanes.
They're not as bad as a lot of people think. We had hardcore green lasers that we used in the military to hit car windshields as they were approaching checkpoints and refusing to slow down, pretending like they didn't see us or whatever. We very rarely, if ever, blinded someone. I don't know exactly what the reports ended up saying, but we probably very rarely blinded someone.
Anywhere above my head here in Henderson, and the sheriff was driving around after I turned that thing on, pointed in the sky. Yes, they probably work very well on the chemtrail planes. So being prepared, I think, is the most important.
This guy just said to buy a green laser and you could use it against chemtrail planes. Did you miss that little tidbit, chat? He says, I was shining mine in the air and the sheriff was driving around after, but they probably work really well on chemtrail planes.
Sure that there were no airplanes anywhere above my head here in Henderson, and the sheriff was driving around after I turned that thing on, pointed in the sky. Yes, they probably work very well on the chemtrail planes. So being prepared, I think
they probably work very well on the chemtrail planes.
Is the most important thing. Maybe if you can afford to over-prepare for stupid loved ones that you don't want to die, that would probably be a nice point. But I do want to make a very important point about biker veteran guy.
Biker veteran guy.
And it's really important. I tried looking for his email today. There's no way to contact him directly whatsoever. Although he has Patreon, I'm not signing up for Patreon and paying him money to talk to him. Cash App, Coffee. You got to give people money. Actually, his Cash App is not working, but you can't talk to him. And he's a well-meaning person, like most of these truthers or news reporters or whatever you want to call them, patriots. But at the end of this, I don't know if I left the part in where he says they're scared and they're running in their boots. Let me remind you, veteran biker, of the shit-eating grin on Biden's face when that reporter asked him, I forgot the question she asked him. It was about his...
I forgot. But remember, he was smiling.
His Donald Trump being found guilty. And it was a question like, did you have anything to do with this, or how does this reflect? And he just had the shit-eating grin, or how's it going to affect your race against him? The shit-eating grin.
Yeah, the chemtrail planes are full of hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin.
Is they don't care. Communism shows you that they're violating your rights to put you in fear.
I've heard that the ivermectin levels is so high in horse meat, if you switch from beef to horse meat, you'll probably survive the next chemtrail disaster.
Look what we did to your president. Look what we did to gun control laws in many of the states. And the blue states aren't very blue. They're just highly populated counties inside of states that are generally red in the counties with less population. So it's very important that we get All of us need to be the voice and let these people know they're
Wanda McJabuni says, I started prepping when Obama came into office. Took me 2 years to save up for a gun. Thank you, Wanda McJabuni. Listen, let me tell you a little story. Mariah just called to yell at me. And then I corrected her that nothing was my fault. And she acted like she was still mad because she didn't get to yell at me. Well, she texted me to yell at me. I'm sorry. So Mariah texts me. She's like, well, can't give the boys a shower because the propane tanks are empty. Now, just a day ago, she texted me that the propane tank was empty. And I'm like, the back. So we have 2 big propane tanks and 2 small ones. And when I go fill them, I always fill 2 big ones and a small one. And we use the big ones, then swap to the smaller one while I go fill the tanks over the next week or so. And in the summer, each of those big tanks lasts like a month, over a month, probably 2 months, because we're just heating water with it. It's just a water heater. And one of those small tanks lasts almost a month. So I said, I figured the big tanks would be empty. She's like, I told you a month ago that one was empty. And I'm like, yeah, but I fill them both up at the same time. And a small tank. I've texted her back and I said, I put the small tank that's full, I put it on the Blackstone grill to check it out because somebody just gave us another Blackstone grill. I was like, I put it on there to check it out. Just grab that tank and hook it up. And then over the next couple of days, I'll go fill the big tanks and one small tank like I always do. So now that was 2 days ago. She texts me now and she's like, well, can't give the boys a shower because the propane's out. So I called her and I'm like, there's no way. And she's like, it's out. All I know is it's on E, William. You were supposed to fill the tanks. All I know is it's on E. And I said, you put the small tank on there? And she's like, yeah, I put the small tank on there. And I'm like, the small tank for the Blackstone? The other small tank. And I said, the one that's been empty for 2.5 months? I didn't know. I thought the Blackstone came with that tank. I didn't know that tank was a tank. So then I've got a screenshot of the message that I sent her. Wait, no Team Mariah yet. No Team Mariah yet. And then she acted mad that she didn't get to yell at me more. Like, she acted mad because she realized it was her fault and not mine. So we're going to read this message together, chat. This says, let's see what it says. Let's zoom in here. Okay, use the small tank like always. It's on the Blackstone. Thank you very much. It's on the Blackstone. That's right. That's right. And I said, the tanks last a lot longer when someone isn't running the heat in the mornings, which was a joke. And I said, I'll get some more tomorrow. What's that say, chat? It's on the Blackstone. It's on the Blackstone! Weird. And then she's like, well, I'm just not going to give all this a shower because I don't want to wait 30 minutes for the hot water heater to fill up. We have to fix this. And I'm like, put the right fucking tank on there. You're a goddamn liar. Every time I'm in your car, I have to fucking fill it up.
They're not shaking in their boots at all. They didn't even try to hide the fact that Merchant's daughter is getting money sent directly to her front door.
Don't even hide it.
They're not even funneling it through her company. They don't
Millions.
So what options do we have left? They don't care. First of all, we talked about 7 years ago or 6 years ago that the layer of debate has been removed. That was removed with Obama. So there is no debate. What keeps civil or how did we what did we add to our government system to
Ms. Priss doesn't even know how gas pumps work. There's a difference.
Avoid to end the Civil War?
She'll look like that guy with that gas pump with his pants down. That's what happens when she goes to the gas station. She doesn't understand the concept.
Added debate. We were allowed to debate each other. By the way, I hope you guys are enjoying my Southern Pride Month celebration here on this channel every day. Hopefully, I will be posting something awesome about the South. And
Southern Pride Month celebration. He doesn't want to do Pride Month, so he does Southern Pride Month to really stick it to the Democrats for his 300 views.
We are celebrating day 1 with the Confederate flag, which is illegal. Not legally illegal, but in social media, you cannot post the rebel flag. It's against the law.
Oh my
Against all
goodness.
social media. You can't even buy it on eBay. You cannot buy.
What? You couldn't just like be live streaming and type in rebel flag and then just pull the motherfucker up like this? That's illegal. And so they're going to shut my stream down? That's illegal. I've done it now, guys. Say goodbye to this channel. We're done. We're done.
Buy a Confederate flag on eBay. You have to go to private websites. That's the only way you're going to get one. The only way. Directly from the person who's making it or selling it. And I was looking for a giant sticker. I'll be reading the comments in a second, Bobcat. I just need to get through my thoughts. So we don't have the layer debate. And I know this is like a rerun for many of you, and I will try and keep it short. But my question here is where do we go next? If you saw the very beginning.
I thought you were on strike. That's why I was confused. I thought you already were on strike.
Beginning of this video, I will play it again at the end. You have the man explaining that the Second Amendment is strictly, and everybody tells me to be quiet and be careful when I say this, but I'm a fucking American, and I'm simply regurgitating.
Who's been telling him? Who's been telling him that? Every time he says, I love being an American, people are like, shh, be quiet. Be quiet. You can't. Be quiet. Ooh, you better be quiet. Ooh, you better be quiet right now. Can't say that. Who does that to him?
And everybody tells me to be quiet and be careful when I say this, but I'm a fucking American, and
I'm an American. Be quiet. Be quiet. Be quiet. Don't say it. Shh. Shh. Little red step, baby.
Simply regurgitating the words that are found in the Constitution. I'm not going to be in fear of that. Everyone pulls me aside and says, Red, you got to stop saying revolution, Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is only there to remove government officials who have committed treason and have violated your constitutional God-given rights.
No one tells him that, right? No one's like, he's like, I'm an American. They're like, oh, be careful. Be careful. They're listening. They're out there. Just like no one's ever told him that showing the rebel flag is illegal on social media.
The only reason we have a Second Amendment is so we could take a gun and point it at someone who has used their authority to abuse us and our rights. That's the only reason we have guns. Gun and point it at some constitutional God-given rights. The only reason we have a Second Amendment is so we could take a gun and point it at someone who has used their authority to abuse us and our rights. That's the only reason we have guns.
There you go.
We don't need a judge to tell us they're doing it right out in the open. That's how communism happens. That's why Joe Biden is sitting there smirking at the camera when they say, do you have anything to do with this Donald Trump mess? Yeah, you know I did, assholes. What are you going to do about it? They do it out in the open to scare people. They scare people into silence. I'm not going to be quiet. I'm
already terrified.
I think that the Second Amendment is the best idea. I would like to get rid of them all at once, and I think that dissolving the Union is the best idea. But that takes a lot of years and that'll take 3 or 4 election cycles, because what you have to go through just to get out, just to dissolve, just to get people to agree, to get petitions signed, to get all the balls rolling, to get us out of this Union with these crazy motherfuckers would take decades, at least 2 or 3 decades to dissolve.
At least
it takes
decades.
2 or 3 seconds to remove a treasonous traitor politician who has.
Tom C says, "Where's the Hell's Angels at? They should be helping us." Wanda McJabuni says, "Tom C, most of them are in jail for drugs." Bobcat says, he uses the wrong form of you're all prisoners of war being held hostage by a belligerent foreign corporation. The POW flag is below the fake American flag in Washington, D.C. When that flag's gone with the American flag, it's all red and with a green 5-pointed star on it. Then you're free. Thank the Moors, a.k.a. Indians. Go read the Charter of the Forest.
You're right. Who has destroyed your country, who has opened the border to 30 to 45 million illegal aliens. Now, there was a time in history when we had 3 million illegal aliens during Roosevelt's administration, and he said, you guys got 1 month to get the hell out of here, or you're going to get arrested, and I can't remember what the punishment was, possibly death.
You know what the difference is between a threat to clean up 3 million illegal aliens is, and talking about 20 million, 30, 40 million illegal aliens? I think the last time they did an average, it was actually 10, but these people believe there's many, many more. I think it was 10.5 million was what they're about 3% of the population here, 10.5 million. How are you going to round them up? How? Just tell us what you would do to round them up and how much that'll cost. Even if you only hired one person to each go get one alien, you didn't need a team. You didn't need research. You didn't need people tracking them down, people calling on the phones, people checking databases, see if they registered here and security camera. Even if you just had one person that would take that, you'd start to have 10.5 million people hired. For how long?
But we only have 1.2 million people that are serving in our military's forces between all 5 divisions of the military.
Oh, my goodness.
1.2 million. During World War II, we had 14.2 million soldiers. Today, we have 1/14 of that. We're not going to win a war. And here's the other thing. Why sit there and pop the pimples, okay? When I say pop the pimples, I say get into fights with other civilians, with purple hair people who are demonstrating colleges. Why pop those pimples when we can attack the oil? The oil that causes those pimples.
The U.S. military is actually about 2 million people. And then on the civilian side, there's probably about 800,000 civilians that that work in conjunction with, like, do jobs like mechanics, radio repair, shit like that, right? Civilian contractors. So there's almost 3 million people would be the U.S. military strength. But I guess you're guessing.
And everyone loves when I throw my lighter down, so I did it. Why don't we attack?
Why would we have so many people? Why would we have so many people in the military during World War II? Seems like a weird time to have a lot of people in the military, doesn't it? I just can't see why. I don't know. I think that, I don't know. Seems like a weird time to have people in the military. For sure. In 1954, we had 3 million. 1955, 3 million. It's going down slightly. 2.8, 2.7, 2.6, 2.5, 2.4, 2.4, 2.8, 2.6, 2.6, 2.6. None of the graphs go all the way back to, none of the graphs go all the way back because that was an unprecedented time, like a world war and drafts and shit. So most of the graphs, you'll go look for military personnel starting like the 50s or 60s. After World War II ended, because those were unprecedented times, right? That's when, like, everybody was fucking getting drafted. Everybody knew somebody. But ultimately, our military does more than ever now with less people. It's not just about manpower, right? It's just like how jobs change. How many people did it used to take to build a car? Now we're building better cars with less people, right? You might not like that from a jobs perspective, but it's just not, we have to have one person for every one illegal immigrant. I don't even know why that would be an issue, but it's not just about manpower.
It's so hard and fast that it runs scared, and no one will take that treasonous traitor's politician spot and take the George Soros money. And why is George Soros still walking the streets? Yeah.
To be fair, I think the greatest drop in military personnel, the Marine Corps usually stays pretty steady. The Navy's dropped off some. The Army's dropped off some. I think the greatest drop is probably in Air Force personnel because of all the things we can do without having to have, you know, the Air Force does a more automated, robotic, drone type job, and they're doing a bigger job than ever. Even satellites and shit. They're doing a bigger, better job than ever with less people.
What's his name? Adam Schiff's daughter married George Soros, the one that's taken over for George Soros, the nephew. I'm 99% sure it's the nephew, or it's that other creepo, whatever his son's name is, the kid with the glasses. That kid's nuts. I watched his dissertation, 2 of them, both of them over 2 hours long. He gave in the library why communism is so great and how great Hitler was. He literally went out there and said that and went through Hitler's administration from beginning to end. And he's walking the streets and he's funding these problems. And both of them over 2 hours long. He gave in the library why communism is so great and how great Hitler was. He literally went out there and said that and went through Hitler's entire administration from beginning to end. And he's walking.
A Jew went on to say that Hitler was so great. Are you sure?
Streets, and he's funding these problems. And the Constitution says that we can eliminate them. And if there's a judge in this nation who wants to put you on trial for eliminating someone who publicly has violated their oath, who has committed treason against this country, and who has sold us out and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren.
I think Schiff's relative is married to Robert Soros.
Then that judge himself is part of the problem. That's my opinion. I'm not saying doing it. I'm saying, hey, let's dissolve the union.
He's the oldest son of George Soros.
We don't fight our brothers and sisters, our civilians. They're victims. These transgender kids are victims. These transgender 40-year-olds are victims. Are they crazy? Yes. Are they easy people to hate? Absolutely. But they're not our enemy. They're the pimple. We have to worry about the oil. And
what a weird fucking analogy. They're the pimple. We have to worry about the oil.
And on a national level, not such a big deal. Taking out national politicians, I don't think that's a good idea. I think the problem is the local ones. I think it's the AGs, the Fannie Willises of the world. And I'm not saying anything bad should happen to Fannie Willis. I'm just saying, according to the Constitution, it says when things that are happening.
I'm not saying anything bad should happen to Fannie Willis, but according to the Constitution, something bad should happen to Fannie Willis.
Today happen, that the only way to resolve it is through the Second Amendment, because the debate is over. The opportunity to receive a fair court case is over. See, there's nothing you could do. They come to your door today and arrest you because they don't like the way you voted last time.
By the way, these are the same people that'll watch any black person get arrested for violation of probation or drugs or whatever and be like, the system works. Don't do the crime if you don't want to do the time. Until Trump gets arrested, and they're like, the system's been broken for years.
And they would put it on national television to scare everyone else. They don't hide their crimes. Veteran biker has to wake up and stop saying that they're scared, because he's giving people false hope. And he is stunting the fixing of the problem by giving people a warm fuzzy when there shouldn't be one. Now, I'm not saying anything should happen today. I don't believe that. But I do believe that
No. The analogy he's trying to there's many, many, many better analogies. What he's trying to say is like, it's a symptom of an underlying problem, right? We shouldn't go after the symptom. We should fix the underlying problem. But I don't know why he's using pimple and oil.
November 6th, when I put all of my eggs in the basket of Donald Trump will not be president of the United States, no matter how many fucking votes he gets. If everyone in the United States votes for Donald Trump, he will not be president. It will not happen. They will not allow it to happen. They will. If they can't get, my prediction is that the deep state communists.
Well, you're wrong, because Phil's right.
That are running everything right now, they're going to personally take out Joe Biden. They're going to blame it on Patriot, and they're going to get sympathy while they put in the governor of California.
Mostly Peaceful Redhead. Actually, Phil's contacted me today. And asked if you would like to settle. He's willing to let you win this case if you give him a few $1 million.
California, or even worse, Mike Obama. That's my prediction. I don't think that using the Second Amendment against Congress people or senators is necessary. I think your problem and my problem are at the local levels. But it is quite interesting that if like 3 Democratic senators came up with COVID and died from it, that we would have control of the House and the Senate, and we would be able to pass some laws, because all Congress is doing right now is taking notes and putting everything on the record. And they can't do anything while the Senate is all tied up with 2 or 3 guys, 2 or 3 extra Democrats. So it would be interesting if, like 3 Democratic senators got COVID, like tomorrow. That would be interesting. I have felt this way, and now I know why. Since I was a little boy, since I was 7, 8, 9 years old,
I think you better run it up the flagpole and see what happens there.
A deep admiration for the Constitution and the idea of
ever since I was a kid, I felt a deep admiration for the Constitution and revolution.
And maybe that's why I'm here in this position today. And to be honest with you, that's why you've never seen my face. Because I don't think my job in this war is to alarm.
We've seen your face. I've got pictures of your face. It's not that impressive. I wouldn't show my face either. I understand what you're doing. Don't say it because it's not important. We've seen your face.
People of what's going on. I also don't think my job is to eliminate any of these politicians, but I do believe that I am here to inspire a revolution or the dissolving of the union, which I would be very happy with. If it could happen overnight, that would be great. If there's a way we could figure it out, I'm just throwing ideas around. I'm not telling anybody to do stuff. I'm definitely saying, hey,
the dissolving of the union. He's here to dissolve the union, guys.
Or the dissolving of the union, which I would be very happy with. If it could happen overnight, that would be great. If there's a way we could figure it out, I'm just throwing ideas around. I'm not telling anybody to do stuff. I'm definitely saying, hey, I'm not going to be scared to say it's time for a revolution in this country. It's way fucking past time. And it's very important that no civilians, no purple-haired transgendered people or any opposites or gay people or crazy old Karens on the street wearing Biden shirts, none of them, not a hair on their head, ever be hurt. Because those are our brothers and sisters, our moms and our dads and our coworkers and our neighbors. And it's not their fault. They're the pimple. The oil needs to be dried up. And when it gets to be dried up, it needs to come down like a fucking hurricane. Not little and slow like a slow leak. It's got to come out like fucking Niagara Falls. It's got to happen so hard and so fast. And is the best time for that to happen on November 6th after they cheat the next election? That's the last fucking day possible. And all of you know in your heart that there will not be a fair election if there's an election at all. And as soon as they say there's not an election, all guns need to be
not the pimple,
all
the oil,
ready and dry. As soon as they cancel this election, we need to go full fucking balls out. And anyone who said that sentence out loud must pay for it. It is way past time to save this fucking country or to dissolve the union. But never should there be a civil war.
Dissolve the union, baby.
Aliens, that ain't
I would. I'd email him immediately.
civil war. That's
I might get him on a conference call with
I love you
Phildo.
all very much, but I'm not going to lie, and I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat shit, and I will never fucking tell you that the Democrats are scared, because they're not scared at all. They are not fucking scared. They are doing very fucking well, and they don't care if you know. They want you to know. That puts fear in your heart.
Mariah has to pop all the
Way
bumps on
past
my
time for a
back.
revolution or the dissolving of this union. This country will not survive one more year. It probably won't survive till November 5th. But everyone who has publicly violated their oath, who has committed treason publicly, must pay for their sins against the Constitution. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. I'm not going to not say it. Somebody's got to say it. Maybe that's just my job.
That's your job.
Unfortunately,
Dissolve the union.
motherfuckers who are paid to take care of this shit are too scared.
The
to do it.
union
More-
dissolver.
The three-letter agency motherfuckers who should have arrested Mayorkas a long fucking time ago are too fucking scared to do it. Again, violating their Constitution. They say, oh, there's a lot of heroes in the three-letter agencies that have nothing to do with this mess. Fuck you. They have everything to do with this mess because they're not doing their job at stopping it.
Or maybe the mess doesn't
matter if they
exist.
cover you.
They
have the Constitution on your side. And
it's weird that they feel like they can run out every possible scenario, that they can discern this from that they know what's really going on. But the one scenario they won't even entertain is that they're just fucking wrong. And none of this is happening. Donald Trump's not the secret president. Joe Biden's not a lizard man clone who's been replaced. Like, they can't even entertain that thought. It's too much.
maybe you still end up dying in prison or getting hung, but you got the Constitution on your side. See, you sided with the Constitution. You said, this is where it ends. This is where that bullshit ends. I don't give a fuck. You come to my house, you fucking arrest me for fucking saying the fucking truth. I don't give a fuck. I'm not living here in fear, and I'm not keeping my fucking mouth shut. The only reason we have a Second Amendment is to eliminate people who have publicly violated our rights, have committed treason, and spit in our face doing it. The only reason that we have a kangaroo court in America is because we allowed it to happen. Should Judge Merchan catch COVID and not make it to July 11th, I wonder what happens then. I wonder who the next judge is going to have the balls to be a Juan Merchan or those other fucking clowns.
Juan Rashawn.
They know we know what they're doing. They just don't care.
Juan
Love
Rashawn.
y'all very much. You're all too fucking old to take part in this. Way too old. The good news is that Generation Z thinks a lot like us. And if you want to hear the word
Do they? Generation Z thinks a lot like you. Do they?
retard yelled out loud, just start talking woke shit in school. For my Southern brothers and sisters, I want to wish you a very merry Southern Pride Month, which we'll be celebrating on this channel. Tom, I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. I was looking for that clip, and I keep forgetting. Actually, I grabbed the clip. I am mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. I don't care. You know what? What I'm scared of losing? My grandchildren are going to lose 1,000 times more than I ever will in my lifetime during this bullshit.
Oh my goodness.
The game is fucking over. The fucking traitors got to drop. It's time that they drop. And
By the way, this is the guy who lives in his fucking car and he comes on here and begs for gas money so he can run his Uber Eats deliveries to make some money. But he'll also tell you that he's like a famous comedian, had this show, did this, makes t-shirts, the best t-shirts in the world. Like, he's got a story to tell. But sometimes he'll be like, all right, guys, I just need $5 worth of gas so I can run my Uber Eats delivery so I could get paid today.
if the fucking three-letter agencies that get paid to fucking do it, that are supposedly the heroes of this country, don't start fucking doing it, then we got to do it. It's fucking time. We're going to watch this video. We're going to call it a day. Or, my favorite idea, dissolve the union.
Dissolve the union.
That's funny you say that. I was watching a documentary about the band choir. I had a very beautiful moment with the bass player, a very growing moment, a moment that very much made me a man. That's another story for another day. I saw him do something so amazing when no one was looking with this girl with Down syndrome. And it changed. And I walked out of a Motley Crue concert because I wanted to meet him because I was really a big fan of Rudy Sarzo, who played for Ozzy Osbourne. And I caught him right before he went on the bus, and he goes, I'll be back in a minute. And then as I turn around to wait for my minute, this girl with Down syndrome comes up, and it was an amazing moment. It was an amazing moment because she gave him a rose, and he talked to her for a good 10 minutes, and she walked away, and the windows were open on the bus, so I could see he went to the kitchen table and took a previous rose that was dead out of the vase, and he filled up the vase, and he put the new rose, he cut the bottom and put the new rose in it. Nobody was looking except for me. Anyway, it was cool. We're gonna watch this video again if you missed it, and
yeah, if you sweat, so like obviously you sweat when you work or whatever, you sweat, and just like your shirt hanging on your back, like dirt and grime and shit will build up, then it holds it to your skin. That's got to be it, because I used to get bumps on my back worse when I would like sweat and then hop into a vehicle and drive, where it's like pressing it up against your back, like from a seat. Or like you can tell, like depending on what like chair you sat in, it would be worse right there. Where I guess it's like holding the sweat and the dirt to your back or something. And when you get hot, your pores open, right? So it's probably making it worse.
we're gonna call it a day. Peace and love are wide. Live your life before your life lives you. It's way past time. It's way past time for a revolution. I'm not scared to die. I'm scared to live without my freedom.
Way past time.
And all these voices in my head of people telling me, don't say anything about that. Don't say. Why? It's the fucking Constitution. It's the Second Amendment.
No one's telling you not to say you're an American. No one ever.
The whole reason this country exists is because of that document. And if we don't use that document to protect that document, we're not going to have a document. And the people who think they can shit and piss on that document must be eliminated immediately. Peace and love worldwide. Live your life before your life lives yours. Dear God, please watch over all of us. Please keep us safe and our loved ones safe. Those of us, those of our family, loved ones that don't know the truth of what's going on. Please watch those of us who are suffering from medical conditions, life-threatening ones, irritating ones, or debilitating ones. Amen. Let's listen up, and we'll call it a day.
The average American thinks that the framers gave us the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution, the right
Oh my
to bear
God,
arms
he's
so that
paying
we
it
could go
again.
deer
He's
and duck
paying it
hunting.
again.
But that's not why the framers of the Constitution gave us the Second Amendment. They explicitly said to enable the American people to protect themselves against their elected representatives. The average American thinks that the framers gave us the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution, the right to keep and bear arms, so that we could go deer and duck hunting. But that's not why the framers of the Constitution gave us the Second Amendment. They explicitly said to enable the American people to protect themselves against their elected representatives.
Yeah, more
Peace and love worldwide. Please share this video. Please share the video. It's very important that we wake people up, and it's very important that these other patriot channels who get
Yeah, I don't know how they can call themselves patriots and wanted to dissolve, and that would dissolve the union. Then there wouldn't be a United States. Well, you just want to live in your state, like we live in Africa, but there's all these other small countries in it. I don't know. That seems wild to me. Dr. J sent one in. She said we had to review. It's the best content of the year.
That's the point of this. A felon or
Does he not know he's live?
Are you watching?
Yes. Ooh, how creepy.
Of course you are. If you're not watching now, some of you will watch this later.
You're a scary guy. She says, y'all remember the guy I posted that was in love with a sex doll and dancing with it? He is kind of spiraling right now if you need something to watch.
I have some thoughts. I was sitting there on my last stream. It's kind of,
I'm going to
For the
speed him
first
up.
time in my life.
Talk slow.
I realize how alone I truly am. It's a scary thought. It really is.
Oh, no.
You look back far enough in your life, you had everything you could ever want. I had my
Oh, shit. I didn't mean to do that. Are you watching? You like
sitting
to
on my last
watch?
stream. It's kind of, for the first time in my life, I realized how alone I truly am.
Someone in their chat just keeps spamming. Want to fight me behind Walmart?
It's a scary thought. It really is.
I don't know what
You look back
that's
far enough in your life, you had everything you could ever want. I had money, friends, family.
Okay.
I used to know what it felt like to be happy. Knew what a smile really genuinely felt like. Somewhere along the way, all that changed. My friends and family became targets of malicious people online.
Oh,
I had
no.
to watch as every home I moved into became a target by sick fucks on the internet. Began to feel unsafe after a point, not because of
What's his name?
evicting and we don't want to deal with this, move out. No, it was more the reality that you can't rely on people to use their brain anymore. When along the American
Does
timeline,
he call himself Tibbs? Is that what people call him?
it become commonplace to punish the target and not the perpetrator. When someone's a victim, when did it become commonplace to punish them rather than the person committing the actual crime? When a felon or a criminal or a stalker harasses your home, when did it become commonplace to evict an intended target and not punish the wrongdoer? No matter what their excuse is, no matter what their brain
I know that's his channel. I just didn't know if that's what he called himself, was Tibbs.
tells him was justified for doing it, or when did that become the norm? In turn, everywhere you move, you feel unsafe because it's not that you're afraid of these people. Some people are. I'm not. The laws protect you and they keep you alive when you do things like that to innocent people. But those same laws turn a blind eye when people hurt innocent people. It's really weird. It's like the system is designed to reward scumbags, but punish people for doing what's right.
Okay.
It's a very interesting concept. And I'm not really sure when that became normal. And I'm aware we have a sick fuck in our chats right now, but I'm not really worried about it. Thought that I have is that now you have friends and family that don't want to be in your life because of fear. You can't hold a place to live because landlords are pushovers and pussies half the time, and the other half the time, well, they become targets as well. You can't rely on having a job because these same woke, visceral pieces of human garbage tend to target where you live. It becomes an issue after a point. And every time I try to specify and talk about these things, you have some weak-minded degenerate who shows up in our chats and acts like a jackass because he's afraid of people hearing the truth. If you can't handle the truth, you don't belong here. And I don't mean in my chats, I mean in this fucking country. Go across the world, but here's the thing, go anywhere else in the world, you know what they're going to tell you? The same fucking thing. The rest of the world's just not as polite as America is, or at least was. It takes a lot out of a person to take all that all the time because you lose family, friends, home, jobs, you're left with nothing left. What do you have left? The free shit. All you have is your thoughts at the end of the day. That's it, and that is the free shit. I just put it on another free platform. And people target me over that. It's not exactly a good feeling to realize how alone you are after a point, because then you have these itching thoughts. Loneliness is a terrible
Turn on a lot, bro. This is giving super serial killer vibes.
thing. It eats away at you, reminds you that you're just one human being. That's the funny thing, though. For the last 3 years, I have had 72 people in my head until you realize that dark, unforgiving thought. And I'm going to read all your comments, I promise. But this is more important than me and you. For 3 years, I've had 72 people in my head. No, I didn't. It took me a long time to realize that that was just the after effects of marijuana on the brain. That was schizophrenia.
Pigeons.
And I am the last person who wants to admit that. Yes, it's reversible. And yes, with the proper treatment and care, you can fix it. But it also means that I've been alone this whole time. No one has had my back. On simple things like Chomos deserve a bullet, and then people targeted me over that. People targeted me or saying Chomos deserve a bullet. Tell me,
Oh my goodness.
do you like Chomos to your kids? I don't, and they're not even my kids to begin with. But I was targeted over that.
I'm gonna hot take here. I like churros, not chomos. I might make that into a t-shirt. Churros, not chomos.
Opinion. I was targeted with the fact that I think it's a little bit weird that we just gave Ukraine all of our money, and they would never do the same for us. You know, because now our economy is shit as a result. And I'm a little bit, well, that's a little weird thought.
So, again, very rarely do we give cash to another country when you give military support. We give them products that we make, right? Tanks and missiles and stuff. And that makes jobs because we have to replace those for our own military. And that makes money and makes jobs and helps the economy, just so everybody knows. There is sometimes and some reasons that we'll give them actual cash, but when you hear like there's $1 million aid package going to military aid package, it's probably less than 1% of that is going in cash. The rest of it is going in tanks and equipment and training and whatever, right? It's supplies. And then those supplies have to be remade and replaced for our own army, and that makes jobs.
I also think it's kind of odd that trans people do what they do. And I don't mean the transitioning thing. I mean the walking in the bathroom saying, hey, check it out. It's a little bit bizarre that they do that no one holds accountable.
So I understand a lot of people are upset about the bathroom thing, but most people, you wouldn't even know. They're just trying to do their own thing, right? How many times do you go into a bathroom and get into a debate? What he did was trans people go into a bathroom. He acted like he was opening a trench coat and doing the helicopter and said, hey, look at my dick. I've never seen that happen with any person, much less a trans person.
I think it's weird that our police are so lazy and don't actually want to do their jobs. And I think it's weird that people scream free speech is being hindered on Tips TV, yet all you do is talk about raping of age kittens in my chats 90% of the time.
Raping underage kittens?
Think about it. No one wants to see that shit all the time.
What is the age limit on kittens?
To be fair, I've had to endure harassment, stalking, doxing, death threats, and abuse for simple common sense. And the dark reality is I had to do it alone. Anyone who agreed with me became a target. Simply saying, yeah, what they're doing is messed up. They became a target. And I think that's wrong. But I survived 3 years with no backup, no support, and no one there for me. I mean, I look at my...
Yeah, I mean, really the only difference is the urinals, right? The stalls are the same. The sinks are the same. Sometimes instead of urinals, listen, here's a super hack. If you go to a decently nice place, and let's say you want to go to the bathroom, but really you want to go to the bathroom to get a break from... You know, sometimes you go to the bathroom and sit on the shitter and play with your phone just because you don't want to talk to the people that are there. You need a break from the people that you're there with. If you sneak into the women's bathroom, sometimes, and these elusive, high-end women shitters, instead of urinals, they'll have a couch. I've seen it before. Sat on the couch before. Might even take a nap in there. They'll have a couch instead of urinals.
Family, like my friends.
Not often, but sometimes.
Well, quote-unquote friends, right? It wasn't really friends. It was like friends.
The first time I was like, what the fuck? They got furniture in here? The fuck is going on?
Benefits, if you think about it, except the benefit was I gave them a lot of money, and they acted like my friends. I wasn't aware of the deal. Those are your friends. They use you when they do that. And to those people, well, you didn't deserve me. You don't give some drug addict $8,200 thinking she actually gives a shit about your life. Her fiance, and the people around them. By the way, they all reap the benefits, all 8 of them at that point.
Is he talking about his sex doll? His sex doll's a drug addict? She's hooked on air compressors, man. Sometimes I see her sitting in the corner deflating herself so she could take another hit.
Only one of them actually gave a shit in the end. Should be. It's like, and even he doesn't ask me for money. So technically it was 7 of them, but you know, those aren't your friends though, are they? They don't care about you. It means they didn't care about me. They didn't care about what I was doing. They weren't grateful. They were fucking pigs. Just greedy, selfish.
Next time you're in a ladies' restroom, don't look up. Sometimes I do like a Mission Impossible Spider-Man thing across the top of the stalls and just stare at you, trying to make eye contact while you're taking a little piss. It's weird. It happens.
Fish, pigs. Instead of sitting there showing some form of gratitude or having your back in a rough moment. I mean, a trans predator stalks me and targets my life because I find out her dirty secrets. Any one of them could have said, leave him the fuck alone, and they didn't. Oh, we don't
This is him, by the way.
But the neglect of trying to help me deal with this one human being could not be a fucking human. And what happened? That one person became 2, that 2 people became 5, the 5 became 200. Before you know it, 1,000 became 5,000, and now I have an army out there. It just doesn't
That's his girlfriend, his addict
Tough
girlfriend.
Shit. See, you guys talk about the free speech and the First Amendment, and I can criticize people. You have a full say to say what the fuck you want and get away with it. Well, that's actually true.
She's addicted to compressors. She likes them 12-volt jobs.
You do have that right. It's called the First Amendment. Freedom of speech, freedom of press. You can say whatever the fuck you want and get away with it. Because the First Amendment actually constitutes you to allow you to do that. However, I live in America. That means as a natural-born American citizen, I get that same first right. Which means when you criticize me all the
I get that same first right.
time, I can do it right back. The weird thing is, they don't like it when I do it. Judging what I can see in my chats, it's a little obvious that they're going to be a little angry and call me names and slander me and try to demonize me. Here's the thing. You can say all the things you want, and I can say the same. That is the interesting thing about this world. You're not special. You don't get special treatment. The double standards, like crap, doesn't work here. Sorry. That's what equality is all about. Equal treatment, equal rights. So if you're going to sit here and go ape shit, cuss me out, target me, well, some of the things you're not really allowed to do, like targeting people, not okay. But if you're going to say whatever you want about me, that means I can spill the beans I know about you. For example, Aiden is in our chats right now. He's really not happy. He's spurging out, as they say. Now, if you look at Aiden's account, he's got many accounts. He'll probably admit this at some point. I'm not really concerned what he says this time, but I do know it's him. Co-host Aiden is also known for threatening to rape children and small animals. He's done so in my own live chats when he found out there was somebody here who was out of that age bracket. We reached out to them on Discord to rape and kill them at their home. Aiden's known to be a piece of shit. But he's also known for trying to help people brigade me off YouTube. And guess what? Over what? I had a problem
over what?
And he decided to attack me over it. After all this time, I guess the bitch is still subbed, but hey, what can you do, right? See, I sit here and I realize that I had to deal with people like that for the last 3 years alone. Really think about that. They're
But he seems so stable.
convinced that no one's ever going to hold them accountable. Actually, there we go. Because it's on this screen, right? It's mirrored, whatever. And kill question Bob are members of the map community. The other criticism I made is that it's weird that we have a map community. Like, why is there a map community? Now, what is a map? For those of you who don't know, a map is a minor attracted person. It's speech meant to be polite towards pedophiles, meant to make them feel less like shit. Which, where I come from, they don't really deserve anything less than treated like shit. Just like murderers and rapists don't deserve to be treated anything less than shit. Cartel deserve to be treated like shit. I'm just ballsy enough to say, if you're in the cartel, you're kind of a bitch. But hey, I've never met a cartel guy who actually respected human life, and that's why I say it.
Here's a hot topic, okay? This is my very, 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 very spicy take. If there is something fucked up in your head, I believe it is fucked up in your head. If there's something fucked up in your head that you want to have sex with children, I would much rather you say, something fucked up in my head, I want to have sex with children, somebody's got to help me, and go get help, than I would for you to act out on those fucked up thoughts in your head.
What's he going to kill me? You'd be doing the world a favor, right? You're doing me a favor. My life is just fucking rock bottom. I'm alone. I'm easy pickings for the cartel. You bet your ass, though, that will not go down without a fight. So, good luck. But map community. Why are we respecting them in any capacity? They're pedophiles. That's it. But then I made this statement because how do you not map minor attracted person community? What the fuck do you mean community?
And I know somebody's going to be like, we should kill them all. You can't kill people for future crimes, okay?
And jackass is like this douchebag with the constant same profile picture coming back on his many accounts. You can stop banning him, by the way. Let's just let him go ape shit. Actually, yeah, ban that one. It's not a lotto number, by the way. That's my social security number. He's talking in the chat right now.
That's my social security number. He's talking in the chat. He's putting his social in.
You know, it makes a lot of sense that pedophiles do shit like that. Because I scared them that much, I guess. I mean, I don't see how. Why do you get so butthurt about what I have to say? You know what I mean? I mean, think about it. Really, just let everybody.
Why would you admit to that?
Right? How does anyone get intimidated about what I have to say? I'm a nobody. I got less than 1,000 subs because most of them are just these jackasses and repeat accounts, right? Trying to brigade me off YouTube. So you're talking about maybe 300 legit actual subs. It's an interesting thought there. It's like, I'm not even that scary. How could I be that scary? You guys hear me, by the way? Can anyone hear me? You probably.
Wouldn't it be funny if his mic wasn't working the whole time? He's well, how far is he into this rant? 28, 45, 47. About 20 minutes in this rant, and he's like, my mic's working, right?
He is jobless. Let's see. I'll read. As long as they're not toxic or doxing, you guys can let them go through. If they're not doxing anybody, let them go through. By the way, all my mods, leave a like on the video. I want to know how many mods are in it, so we're going to start finding out. But anyway, I sit here and I criticize people, and I looked at it. I was targeted for outing not 1, not 2, not 3, but 5 members of the map community. And those members are as follows. Ashley Johnson, April 23 of Lansing, Michigan. She was the first one. Because I would never have known if the bitch would stop running her mouth and bragging about what she was doing. Giselle, age 15 when this began, was met at a rally and they started playing on Fortnite, and then and the parents were not okay with it. You know, when you tell me something like that, I can't just keep it to myself because the conscience and the guilt would eat me alive. Why would I hide your secrets when secrets never did a damn thing good for me? I mean, look at my mom.
Ooh, why would I have hide your secrets? The secrets never do a damn good thing for me.
My mom turned on me because why do you have to tell the truth, John? These people.
Last time he blew up, he had catfish Cyrax. I remember Cyrax from when we did shows with Tony.
Are evil. Well, you're an advocate, Mom. You should know all people should know why I do it. Because sometimes someone deserves to have a voice when it matters the most. For example, your own flesh and blood. But anyway, Ashley Johnson.
What the fuck? Kind of specter ghost just went behind him on the wall. Look at this.
Voice when it matters the most. For example, your own flesh and blood.
What is this?
But anyway,
what is that? Where's it going?
Ashley Johnson was number uno. Flips Gaming, a Fortnite GT YouTuber. He was number 2.
Did you see that?
But anyway, Ashley Johnson was number uno. Flips Gaming, a Fortnite GT YouTuber. He was number 2. Chad Gaming 420. They called it in the hierarchy and the cavalry, if you want to call it that, after Flips Gaming couldn't handle getting me off the platform. The amount of slander and doxing I received was obscene. But when Chad Gaming 420 failed, then they brought in ranked material Discord. Yeah, there's a whole Discord of chomos on the internet right now, and they're coming for your children. And they're like, well, since parents are too stupid to do their job, we'll get away with it. And we're like, motherfuckers, And that's how the unfortunate displeasure meeting marks anew and then WTRD radio. Now, if you think it stops there, oh, no. It's the result of the entirety of the Cyrax troll community. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to slow it down to normal speed, okay? I'm going to let you watch about 2 or 3 minutes of it.
Coast Croegg, or Aiden, he was another one. And then Randy Wren, who was his former buddy who got arrested and taken off the platform, he was another. And of the Cyrax trolls, there's a very large amount of them who do it too. Now, not all of them are directly diddling kids. Some of them just defend Chomos with the worst forms of harassment and targeted threats.
It's bad once you get used to like 2 times speed, isn't it? It's so bad.
You'll ever find on the internet.
This is normal speed.
It's a fucked up thing knowing that they're out there. But I'll never forget what my mom said. John, you're one person. You can't save them. You can't stop these people from what they're doing to people. They're going to kill you, John. And like, you think that's scary?
Your mom said they're going to kill you?
I watched what these people have done in the last God knows how long.
Someone says Chad took down his other channel and now claims he's retarded.
Hey. And I've observed what they do to people.
Okay.
And my mom abandoned me.
So your mom told you that they were going to come after you and kill you, then she abandoned you?
See, I was raised by my father, regardless if he's my brother's one or not to be a coward. Do not back down from bullies. When you see something, you say something. Losing my mom, my dad, watch them run for the high hills instead of standing up for themselves and stand for their own family. That wasn't a loss somehow for me. In your darkest moments, you'll find out who they really are. And my family was a family of cowards. I'm a black sheep in my family because I'm the one who wasn't a coward. I'm not afraid of people. I'm not willing to sit here and keep my mouth shut for the betterment of scum. And when I lost my family and I ran out
Scum.
on these sick fucks online, do you know what I thought in my head? You won't believe it. These people usually go after your family as a last resort, and I don't have one anymore. Well, families aren't bound by blood, as they say. So maybe I'll find a different family someday. People I can trust and rely on to have my back through thick and thin. Because family and love is unconditional. Not when the going gets tough, we don't want to deal with the hurt of what people might do to us. We'll run like hell, fuck you. No, that's not family. And to my family in California, good riddance. It's hard.
Good riddance.
We grew up together. Cried and...
God. You know, he reminds me of this guy I went to school with named Gary. Dude, I used to pick on Gary so much. I'd like to see him now. If he wouldn't speak, I would probably apologize. But I know he'll speak. I don't know if he was Canadian, but that's why we made fun of him. He would go, I would say something to him, and he'd go, I don't care, bird. I don't care. He had such a weird fucking accent. Go to hell, bird. See if I care. Fucking Gary, dude. It's the first time I've thought about him in years. But as soon as he spoke, I would make fun of him. But if he just shut the fuck up, I'd probably be like, I probably shouldn't have picked on you so much.
At the world for what it is. Of all the people, Of all the people. You wouldn't think he would make some really intelligent decisions like that. Most politicians don't. See, I don't like politicians, but I like what they can represent. Change. It's very rare that a politician can actually do real change, though. Look, I see your comment, and I will address it in a minute. However, no, he's coming for you. The answer would be no as a result. He wants me to pound somebody, but he's the one who threatened to rape children and animals, so now I just can't say yes to it as a result.
This guy's name is Cheese Snorter Aiden.
Zycros, pick your friends better. But anyway, I like to see...
And William Gloryhole. So here's some of the names, okay? The Grateful Reckoning, Officer Derek Loves UTTP, The Broken Rat, Fazberry, Circus Burner. Let's see. Now we're getting some repeats. Repeat. William Glory Hole. D. Chaddock. Circus Burner. I think I already read that one. And Cheese Snorter Aiden.
In the world. I'm so sick and tired of seeing scumbags run the show. But then something happened recently.
I'm not sure. His name is Tibbs, but he also dances with he's in love with this doll, this sex doll. That's where we know him from, right?
Now, when I say this, I want to specify that I don't give a shit about Donald Trump, but if I had to vote, I would not vote for the other guy. I'm just saying. I usually don't vote, though, so it doesn't matter, right? Donald Trump was convicted of 34 counts of crime, but I want to specify something. He got convicted over him mismanaging a payment for an NDA for his time alone with a porn star. No. Just let that silence kick in for a minute.
Again, he didn't get in trouble with. There's nothing illegal about fucking a porn star. Nothing illegal about paying her to be quiet. Nothing illegal about using a lawyer to pay her or doing. It was about the falsifying of the records.
Who the fuck cares? It's a paid porn star. Was it on video? If he filmed it, even for.
And do I know? Everybody was like screaming he's innocent. The retards in chat years. Do I know he's guilty? No. But I've put my faith in the same system. You know, if you get pulled over or arrested or something, you're going to face the same system. And we've collectively agreed that we present the evidence and we let a jury decide. Are there appeals? Sure. That's part of the process.
For a couple minutes. It's not prostitution, apparently. That's how the US government works. What's a really retarded concept? If you sleep with a woman, you pay her for it, it's a crime. But if you put up...
I would have loved to have heard every fucking detail of the case. That would have been amazing.
Then it's legal. Basically, that law...
Then we could have pretended like we were the jury and said, do we think he's guilty or innocent?
It's for perverts. Much like age consent laws, but no one thinks about that shit, do they? But anyway, he was convicted over mismanaging a payment to a porn star. I can't believe I have to say that, right? Because it's hilarious. Like Bill Clinton getting his dick sucked in the Oval Office. Who cares? His wife was cool with it. Both times they were, each time, right? But here's the moral dilemma. They have used their own personal insecurities and their, sexual beliefs and shit. By the way,
did someone say yurt?
Fuck a plan B. Them little shits don't even work. Let them nut all in my guts and then I go and pop my perk. Let them nut all in my mouth. I think I got some on my shirt. Kept my $50 and I went and blew it on some yurt. Yeah, fuck a plan B. Them little shits don't even work.
Don't work.
Nut all in my guts and then I go and pop my perk.
Go pop a perk.
My mouth. I think I got some on my shirt. Kept my
little on a shirt.
And I went and blew it on some yurt. Yeah.
Some yurt, baby.
Say I'm the hottest in the city. Pussy good as fuck. I guess that's why he turned me to a Twinkie. Threw this pussy on him. Then I went and popped the plan B. So how the fuck I'm pregnant? Nah, I think this little test.
Those are ultrasound photos she's holding. Ultrasound photos.
Ain't no way I sent that 50 and shit ain't even work.
But mom, how did you announce you were pregnant?
Could've been high as a kite if I just went and bought my perk. Doctor say I can't pop no more perks. I'm about to go berserk. And now I'm at the clinic crying cause that shit ain't even work. The fuck?
The retarded members of chat. I was like, I know a yurt is like a tent thing, but what is she talking about? Like this slang word for yurt? Because she said, because then I went and bought a yurt. She didn't go buy a round tent. And people are like, I think it's a tent. I just looked it up on Google. It's a tent. It's a tent. Well, clearly that's not what she's talking about. Then people just started guessing. Maybe it's a device that she went and got from Canada that you have to stick across the Great Lakes into Detroit, and they use that to get the fentanyl out of your cocaine. Where'd you find that? I don't know. Just thought about it.
Fuck a plan B. Them little shits don't even work. Let them nut all in my guts and then I go and pop my perk. Let them nut all in my mouth. I think I got some on my shirt. Kept my $50 and I went and blew it on some yurt. Yeah, fuck a plan.
Does she know if they nut in her mouth she can't get pregnant?
B. Them little shits don't even work. Let them nut all in my guts and then I go and pop my perk. Let them nut all in my mouth. I think
yeah, one of the campgrounds here locally has them.
I got some on my shirt. Kept my $50 and I went and blew it on some yurt.
I say that all the time, Legend, and no one ever gets it. I'll be like, oh, that was like sex while camping. Fucking intense. Get it? It's like sex while camping. It's fucking intense. You get it? I use that all the time, and no one ever laughs. Never. Never. Never once has I gotten a laugh in chat, and I say it all the time.
Yeah.
For shooters only. Sorry, we got other things going on.
Democrats push for children to watch drag shows and put porn in children's libraries. Where does that make any sense for like any form of equality?
You can't be. So here's the problem. you might hate the idea of drag shows, queen, story, or hour, whatever. You might hate that idea. But you can't claim to be for parents' rights to decide what they do with their children and also claim that they shouldn't be allowed to do something with their children.
I mean, if we're gonna be really stupid here, maybe take the CP away. Don't be teaching kids to watch drag shows, and at the same time, then he can bitch about Donald Trump at his time with the porn star. Although he's an adult, what does it fucking matter? But anyway, he got convicted over something that happened when he wasn't even president. Yeah, this was actually before that. No one seems to know that, right? Nobody cares.
Yeah, we know it was before he was president. You think they're trying him for something that happened while he was president?
Yeah, because I don't care. What I care about is the effects after. He watched the legal system, abused their policies. You basically do what Hitler, Stalin, many other horrible, corrupt scumbag pieces of shit have done over the course of human history. Do I care about that either? No, because Hitler's dead, Stalin's dead, most of them are dead, and most dictators tend to fall, and if Biden becomes one, he'll fall too, I'm sure. But here's what I give a shit, right? Civil war. People are calling for a civil war now. And that puts a smile on my face. And here's why. If you can go and call for civil war, and it's starting to happen,
he's like the anti-Batman.
Or something like this man being thrown in jail over a corrupt system, well, that gave me an idea. We're about to make a lot of noise on the internet. Because that civil war is in real life, but what about here? On the World Wide Web. It's a web. And somewhere out there's a very large spider. Well, I think
whoa, look at that. Look at that lick.
It's a web. And somewhere out there's a very large spider. Well.
That's got Scott Rogers vibes all over it. Someone out there's a very large spider.
I think it's time for civil war of our own. You see, the internet has been a playground for a long, long time. It was never this bad, though. You see, somewhere along the line, scumbags began to run rampant, started to bully people, started to terrorize people. We don't really understand why. It's like after COVID happened, everyone just had a brain that ran to shit. And I can't really explain it. It's like COVID made everybody an asshole. I don't know.
Hold on, he starts going through chat in a second.
Assholes managed to destroy my entire life, and now
COVID kind of. I don't think COVID made me an asshole. COVID introduced my brand of asshole to a whole new community.
For the first time, and he had an issue with somebody named Sad One, who he had met on Discord, I'm assuming, something like that. And he was telling us how he was a sick piece of shit.
K Nunez 83 says, "Let's go, Cold Beer Confess." Thank you very much. I didn't even see that. Usually it lights up over here, but I don't. Oh, I didn't refresh the Rumble page. I had to update my chat feature, like the highlighted chat, to where I can do this and pull it up on screen or whatever.
In the area in just minutes.
And
this simple
let me
but
skip
brilliant
this.
trick you can do.
And I forgot to refresh the Rumble, so the Rumble chat has been showing up. Thank you.
Nobody talking about this pocket hole, so you can give them a TikTok now.
We are going to watch the Phil thing in a second. Don't. This is just stuff I was checking out.
Show some screenshots. The guy showed up here under his ranch-covered pineapple account on YouTube, which has not changed to this day. And he admitted
ranch-covered pineapple.
And he was telling us how he was a sick piece of human shit. Show some screenshots. The guy showed up here under his ranch-covered pineapple account on YouTube, which has not changed to this day. And he admitted openly to being a pedophile. Well, this was not the only time he would do this, but later on, Saturn would come back and make the same statements again in a much worse capacity. This time with these.
Sometimes when you're melting down about a topic, even as crazy as the topic of pedophilia, that some people would just say in chat that they are that thing to see how you react, right? Like if you were melting down over like animal abuse people, and I hopped in your chat and I'm like, I buried my puppy alive. That doesn't mean I actually buried my puppy alive. I just want to see what you're going to say.
Support of these people online, including Aiden and people from Zycros' group. Now, what I'm about to show to you is a screenshot from events. Okay. I'm just going to say it. Saturn One's admitting openly that he's a chomo and it's not bad and he thinks it's okay is a bit of a concern. But then again, that's the kind of people that these trolls actually support. Aiden, Zycros, I believe.
It says I'm going. It's Saturn One. Why does Tits TV call you a chomo? What's up, PDF file? Saturn One. I'm the better chomo. Tibbs. I'm gonna buy some extra cheese pizza. It's not bad, bro. Jesus, this man is a P world. I'm feeling a bit frisky. Oh, noise. PUSSY.
Let's see. I can't read what Griffin says there, but I'll get that later, I'm sure. We got, let's see, 007 on the way. Well, you guys can work on people in your group. Not really worried about it. Let's see. Maybe Geo Guesser. Diesel 60 says, listen here, boy. Diesel 60 says, listen here, boy.
I typically draw the line. I won't go into a chat and claim that I'm a pedophile, but I will try to get a reaction out of a lot of people by claiming some wild shit.
What did he say later? Anything? Talk to Zycros or the scrappers will take all the copper out of your walls. It's on you. First of all, that's not how that works. You guys go and put here, boy. What did he say later? Anything? Talk to Zycros or the scrappers will take all the copper out of your walls. It's on you.
The scrappers take all the copper out of your wall.
First of all, that's not how that works. You guys go and post a fake ad for people to come. Actually, let's go beat them to the punch, actually. Because usually they just post a fake ad on Craigslist. We just got to beat them to it and then go flag it one time. I can flag all fucking night. They didn't post nothing. They post his address to his home on Craigslist and say, free copper. Come pull the wires out of my wall. We're good.
No way.
Seriously. No one's getting a crime for a bitch like you when people clearly live here. By the way, like, which one of these retards actually comes up with a plan to deal with this crazy?
Empty house, you can have all the copper wires.
Like, do you at least plan the threat?
How wild would it be if you were trolling somebody and somehow they were like on vacation? Like, let's say Phil is not at his house in Hawaii and we got a bunch of crackheads. I'm sure Hawaii has crackheads, right? We got a bunch of crackheads to go over there and pull all the wires out of his wall. That would be very funny.
Before you put them out there officially, like, does this sound like it would make some sense? We're going to threaten to send people to rip the copper out of their walls, but nobody's actually going to do that because most people in Saginaw might be blind and lazy, but think about it, they're also not going to commit crime for you while being lazy and minding their own business. Diesel 60. You see what I'm getting at here? You look like an idiot. Let's talk. You don't think so. It's me. Let's talk. You don't think so. We'll talk. You're in my chat. Jesus Christ. This is apparently Zycros who wants to talk, and he's in my chat able to type. I'm not paneling with you. Why? Wait, why do you want to panel when we're right here? You're not going to take the attention away from what I'm doing here to go sit and circle jerk with your buddies or whatever the fuck it is. You say LOL afraid. I'm going to ignore everybody but Zycros from it. Zycros says LOL afraid. No, I just don't feel like jumping out of your panel. I'm already right here. If you cannot handle waiting 10 minutes, that means you're too immature for me to waste my time on going forward. So Zycros, see your bitch ass out of my chat. In fact, I'll just throw you out myself.
There you go.
Afraid of Zycros. The guy is talking about staying scrappers, and that makes no fucking goddamn sense. He's also sitting here not calling it
kind of funny, though. It's kind of funny to think about.
Any of the sick fucks in his own fucking group. He's also not calling out the sick fucks in the chat that are with him. I mean, they don't have to be his buddy. The reason why this issue is going on is because you guys are so stupid, you can't get your whole fucking group to agree to leave me the fuck alone. Therefore, I can actually shut my mouth in the first place. You see...
Remember when they got, what's his name? Daniel Larson? Was it Daniel Larson? They convinced him that everybody that was working at Olive Garden was a pedophile, and they had kids in the basement or whatever. He freaked out on them.
A group of people that was working together to shut your fucking mouth and mind your own fucking business, right? That's been the gist of it, right? I'm assuming, I'm just going what you said, man. Fucking relax, okay? Don't lose your shit. Then maybe I wouldn't have to be here right now calling you fucker.
Now, Cheese Snorter Aiden is gone, and Burger King Aiden is back.
Out in the first place. Just saying. Enough is enough. So here's the deal. If you don't like what I'm doing right now, then you need to get Chad Gaming to fucking shut up and move on too. Because remember, it's not a one-way street anymore. Remember, equality. You guys love equality so fucking much, right? Well, think about it. If you guys would keep antagonizing me, that means I get to do the same. And if I do it, the whole world will know your dirty little secrets no matter what they are. Do you really want the whole world to see you? The whole world, not your little group of circle jerk, not just the troll groups. I mean, everyone. I'll do it. I got nothing left to lose. I don't got no family to keep safe. I don't got no friends to worry about. I don't got no job to lose. I don't have to worry about losing a home anymore because this place, by the way, is on borrowed time. I know that because apparently something better just came along. Take a little bit of time. And when it happens, good luck. You won't have Brandy to send to dox me. But see, that's the thing. You see, I don't need to do this here. That was my mistake. You're mad at me for opening my mouth. I'm not the one who made the decision now, am I? Chad Gaming 420 did. He's mad because I call out Chomos. And I did. And he can't let it go. Well, here's the problem. I did this on YouTube. YouTube is tainted. You got to promote. If I open up the chats and let you flood the chats, then that's step one. Then you open up social media elsewhere.
Oh, he turns on a lot. Hold on.
If you think YouTube is safe, he never was one originally.
Get us a lot here.
Night. Who? No, it's just me right now. And plus, why would you want to meet somebody who doesn't exist? It took me a long time to come to terms with the fact that I had those issues, but with the right guidance, counseling, and trauma support, eventually I started taking all these things and just pushing back in one person again. Let's see. Your name is pathetic. Okay, so we got this new.
Wait, so he has like a different person, like an alternate ego? Is that what he's saying? Edward Knight?
Long time to come to terms with the fact that I had. Eat Edward Knight. They targeted everyone in his life, isolated him, and then pushed him into becoming one. He never was one originally. Can we meet Edward Knight? Who? No, it's just me right now. And plus, why would you want to meet somebody who doesn't exist? It took me a long time to come to terms with the fact that I had those issues, but with the right guidance, counseling, and trauma support, eventually I started taking all these things and just pushing back in one person again. Let's see. Your name is pathetic. Okay, so we got this new guy. He just commented. His name is Tubbs the Child Groomer.
You want to hear about the ultimate troll I did on my sister? So this is like a troll like 20 years in the making. So one year for Christmas, I thought the most annoying gift I could give to her was a billy goat for her children. So her and her husband and her two boys drove up from, I think at the time they were either living in North Carolina coast or the Florida coast for Christmas. And I gave them a billy goat. And I worked with my brother-in-law's dad to have him build a little trailer that was like, I don't know, 1.5 feet wide by like 3 foot long to put the billy goat in, to put it behind their Jetta. And we made a sign that said Farner's Goat Farm, not for hire. And they had to drag that all the way back to their house. A little goat in a little trailer. Okay? So then, years later, I've always aggravated them because they've got too many fucking pets. And it's always a hassle to take care. They got fucking chickens. They got fucking dogs. They got cats. They got everything. So I've always aggravated them about that. So I found out that they bought like another dog and some chickens or something. And I'm like, what the fuck? Are y'all making a goddamn farm And then that hit me. Their last name was Farner at the time. I started a Facebook page called Farner's Animal Rescue and posted that to Facebook, and then started placing Facebook ads that they would take in your old, no longer wanted, dementia-riddled pets and farm animals. And people started showing up at my sister's house. I told them just to set it at the end of the road in a box or whatever. People started showing up at my sister's house and dropping off animals. And she had no idea I'd even made the page. She was just like, I come out and they were like 2 puppies in a box. And it said Farners on the box. And then the next day there was like 3 more chickens than they had the day before.
You're a child groomer? I'm gonna stop right there. I need a drink for this one. This is gonna be a long night.
Okay, here we go. Somebody just called me a child groomer. I need a drink.
So the question I have is this: why are you a child groomer? Because your name's
Wait till he sits down. Wait till he sits down in this full lighting.
I'm just saying, I'm not sure what to do there. I'm aware that there's ghost face in the background. I enjoy my face while glory on back. But why are you a child groomer? Why do you admit that in your name alone? Because trying to say that Tubbs is a child groomer, but that's your name though. That's your channel and your account. So like, are you confessing here? What's going on? I would read his comment, but like that alone is already gonna ask a lot of questions to me out of my mouth. Let's see.
To me in my mouth.
I would read his comment, but like that alone is already gonna ask a lot of questions to me out of my mouth. What's going on? I would read his comment, but like that alone is already gonna ask a lot of questions to me out of my mouth.
To me in my mouth? Is that what he just said?
Or read his comment, but like that alone is already gonna ask a lot of questions coming out of my mouth.
Coming out of my mouth, maybe.
Tibbs, I'm here, or I'm here.
Is he collecting sauce packets? You know what that looks like? You ever go to IHOP and you know, that's why I said sauce packets. You know how they keep their little syrup and jam things in little like plastic divider things? Like that's a bunch of strawberry jam.
I know. Chad the Hunk Hog says, you're wasting time flapping your gums instead of packing. The sheriff won't give you much time tomorrow. Well,
being evicted.
So a couple things about that, because we might as well just get this out right now. First of all, until I get a 30-day notice, until I'm told that I have to leave. And also, I know that you're stupid.
Okay. Check.
But hey, the sheriff's not going to have me thrown out without some kind of thing for that. I might have one, I might not, but it definitely hasn't been 30 days, let alone 45. But also something else. This isn't a
I might have one, I might not, but it hasn't been 30 or 45 days. So he might have an eviction notice. You just don't know.
You idiot.
That's what it is. It's definitely sugar-free syrup and strawberry jam in the dispensers. See, you could grab the little edge of it right there, open it, pop the top off of it. No, I don't know what it is. Is it hard drives? I don't know what the fuck he's collecting over here. That's a toaster. So that is a toaster oven. So that kind of goes back to these might be syrup. No spiral bound notebooks on their side. Could be. I'm going with syrup with a toaster oven for the win.
And also, why are you so desperate to make me homeless? Explain. We'll cover that topic.
I already said that, Legend. Stop saying what I already said.
I'm not intimidated by a pussy who's just pushing for homelessness. So explain why you want me to be homeless. That's obviously the question, right?
Diet Mountain Dew.
I said this last time. I said again. Look. Listen, you degenerate fucking cum stain. And I think that with all the respect somehow. If you're going to make a song, you got to make the lyrics mesh more. When Eminem writes lyrics, when Lady Gaga, I'm sure, writes lyrics, usually the amount of syllables has to match the previous verse, okay? Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. My, oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine, come my way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. See, it works better, but you're missing like a whole line and a half, and it just seems lazy and cheap, and therefore your song comes off as retarded, okay? Because you're trying to make that threat, it makes you sound like you don't know shit about writing lyrics. And mind you, I'm not a musician, and I know that. But I'm intelligent to know how that works. So if you're going to write lyrics meant to threaten me, at least put in some effort and make them look, or at least sound good. Because that, as Simon Cowell would say, was the most atrocious, terrible thing I've ever fucking heard. And I feel dumber having had to read out loud. But then again, you're the idiot who wrote it in the first place. Amen. Anyway, I'm not going to ban him out. I'm hoping he'll come back and make it a reverse, but we'll just see what happens. Uncle Rim's the third still going on. Boy, B-O-I. Well, a lot of these people are G-A-Y people, so I'm not surprised about that. You don't listen, do you? Because you better start packing your things. I love how Chad Gaming 420 is out there defending Chomos and then comes at me because he can't let it fucking go, and then they all get mad at me because I get sick of Chad Gaming bullshit. And also Deus 3, which, by the way, let's read Deus 3's chat logs because at this point, oh wait, do I even have them? No, actually, never mind. He got hidden from today for whatever reason. Let's see. Let's check this bitch out. Rick loves UTTP. Should the predators just get a warning? They should be shot. If I had my way, they'd be shot. They don't get a warning. They get a warning shot to run like hell, but I mean, beyond that, they don't get shit. The broken rat. You won't escape, boy. No lawyer will represent you. Is that a fact? All right.
Okay, now we're kind of caught up with chat here.
It is June 2nd, 2024. It's about the dead zone of the year. Let's see what we can do by December. Look, I'm at the bottom of the barrel right now. The only thing I can really do now is go up. You guys have been threatening me, harassing me, doxing me.
That's some famous last words right there, right? It's a horned scream mask. It's got little horns on it. So famous last words are, I'm at the bottom. All I can do now is go up.
For years, all because I exposed a chomo. Again, listen to how that sounds, right?
He's literally in the closet.
I exposed a chomo. And
no, there's a window here. I think he's just like in the corner and got some very cheap shelves.
You all got pissed about it, right? I mean, the people within these groups targeted me, right?
Is that a loaf of bread right there too? Is this a loaf of bread? What? It 100% is. Bread, toaster oven. Tell me again it isn't jelly, legend. It's 100% jelly.
So the thought I have is, let's go until December and see what happens. And then what we'll do is, we'll see if a lawyer will take my case. By that point, I say December of 2024, because by that point, I'm sure we can have our life at least halfway back on track. And if we can't, that means I'm doing something wrong. So let's make a hell of a comeback. Everybody will see that too.
What did his life look like when it was all going good?
I'm hoping not. Because apparently Mr. William Glory Hole's a decent person who calls out chomos. If that is true, and I'm not saying it's not, well, then I would imagine that he's one of those people that would probably... He's one of those people I imagine would probably be somebody we'd want around after it's over. So cheers. Hope for the best there.
After it's over. I don't like when weird, like, people on the edge say shit like that. Somebody we want around after it's over. What? It's like very school shooterish.
And no, that's not a threat either. That's me saying there's some genuine optimism that maybe members of the sexual community might be decent. Because I do want to note about William Glory Hole that I mentioned briefly previously that I think should be said now of all times. After my stint with Cyrax, asking questions, getting threatened, then as a result buying into the story, becoming enemies with the entire group as a whole, and then having to wake up and smell coffee after a point, or the roses, whatever, I don't know. When everybody else moved on and accepted that I was finally aware, right? William Glory Hole is one of the people that actually separated. It was people like Edward Boy that refused to. Because Edward Boy, and, you know, a very
Chomo is short for child molester.
Degenerate Marks the Doob. Hand in hand. You can kind of see...
So it's usually what they call him in jail.
Who in that moment? Kate Peter, Mass Social Mafia, right? Completely separated. She's not a degenerate now, is she? She didn't stick around and keep it going like these people did. William Glory Hole, same thing. Scarecrow, he did stick around.
That was a perfect bird.
He cried more for us. I wasn't crying for you. By the way, your next comment is ranked material. See your bitch ass out of my chat. Rub-a-dub.
Ranked material. Talk about how good this material is.
Tub. Where does that quote from? I mean, it's a channel account name, all one word. Learn to spell, if anything. Like, grammar is absolutely atrocious here, but because it's all one word, there's spaces in there somewhere. He won't give a fuck about you, boy. Well, then we won't give a fuck about what you have to say. Everybody, wait, bye. Na 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 na. Goodbye. All right, move on here. Well, there are black Hispanics.
He's very musical.
My point is, I have an issue with some of these people, but not all of them. And I'm looking at this with I'm trying to use my brain on how the entire stream. I am a little bit ignorant on the entirety of the situation before I understand the heat exchange.
Well, you know that old saying, Mariah. Give your man a hand job, he'll get your nails done tomorrow. So I can't control it. Right? Someone much wiser and older than me said that.
And it was said, and you know, nothing really horrible came out of it. I do know that Dorial has an issue with people defending predators. And that's probably why after our little business dealing, if you want to call it that, he did part ways.
He's having a little bit of a meltdown.
He call you a chomo, and then everyone says because he's a better chomo. Excluding the fact that he tries to agree with their narrative of what people say about me, which has been debunked how many fucking times, like at this point, just don't even give a shit. Let's acknowledge the fact that he's openly admitted to being one, and then, it gets interesting, he says, Tim, don't buy some extra cheese. It's not bad, bro, crying, hey, Jesus, like he's calling for what he thinks is his buddy. But what he doesn't realize, and this is where it gets a little bit of, hold on, we gotta get the other image, because the other one's actually more heartbreakingly hilarious. Let's see, where's that? If I can still have it in here, or if you'll find it. I'm not sure this is one.
Yeah, but it's hand jobs for nails. It's blowjobs for tell you where the propane tank is. You still won't listen. Because I said it's on the Blackstone and you didn't care.
Later on, Jesus, well, when he announced what he was, Jesus won, or Jesus just ditched him. He's like, oh shit. And Jesus was not seen for the rest of that stream. He never came back. In fact, I don't think we've seen Jesus since.
Jesus is coming back.
No one cared. The one loss of a life later. All my friends and family later. Look where we are. You still couldn't get rid of me. And now you have nothing left to lose, literally. Should definitely tell you something. Not a good one, but still. It's pretty bizarre, man. Haha.
He's very, very school shootery.
Saturn 1, that was out of context. What the fuck is this chomo fucking doing here? Dude, you didn't get enough the first time, bitch? That was out of context, but then you said, all right, I'm gonna play along here because we know how this, he's gonna say this for about 5 lines and he's gonna start confessing. So here, explain the context, chomo. Saturn, back off. I have a lot of context against you. Let's just let Saturn speak because usually he'll start spilling the beans, I've noticed. Look at this. Look at this comment right here. Hold on. Yeah. Saturn is bae, says Aiden. Wait, Aiden is in bed with pedophiles? If there was any bigger evidence right there, we're just gonna screenshot that because the fact that they're stuck. See, where is Edward Boy, Marks, and all the rest when this is going on? Gone. Anyway, It's greasy. You don't deserve it. Leave Saturn alone, says Aiden. He admitted being a chum. I don't think we can leave him alone now. Because life of living fucking hell. Why do you want us to leave? See, that's the thing. Every time I expose predators or we go at them, in comes the chomo brigade to protect all the chomos. That's why I call Croag a chomo, by the way. Yeah, dude. It's like an obvious why, right? Anyway, like, what the fuck? Like, and then they wonder. See, this is actually helping me.
He's
Actually,
very obsessive.
Anyway, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. Actually, put it on the screen. Let's see.
He's still streaming. Let's see what Phil had to say lately. That was the guy who dances with dolls. Tibbs, Tits TV. Phil, his music's just ended. His microphone's not on. Here we go. If you want to support the stream, please consider going to culprit.fund and make a contribution. That's how I pay the bills around here. I just paid the fucking light bill, but that's how we keep the show going. I don't really have room to stream at the house, so I've got an office. That's how I pay the bills here. Pay the light bill, pay the internet, do other things, design a tiny snake guillotine, stuff like that. I went searching for he doesn't know his microphone's not on. I went searching for a snake pistol today, and I like the Judge. I held one and played with it, a polymer Judge, the 2.5 inch chamber one. But I also like the 605 Protector from Taurus. It's like a lightweight polymer revolver. It's a 357-38, but I can still get shot shell. I don't know which one I like more. They're pretty cool. I've never really owned many revolvers, just a few. Phil, your mic's not on. Phil. Oh, God. More music.
Okay. Sorry about the extended introduction there. But
thank you. I guess it's giving you some type of prompt about my affiliate anniversary. Damn, it's probably been years since I became an affiliate, but thank you.
The viewer counter just kept going up. Like,
yeah, the gun I currently like is this one. I don't know if I'll get it in stainless, but this is the Taurus 605. I think it's called the Protector or something. It's not the Defender. The Defender is the Judge, but this is in 357. That's a good size for like a pocket revolver. I like this a lot. The other one is the Taurus Judge. I'll show it to you. And I like it probably with some color on it. Taurus Judge. It's the public defender version, but still. So they have like a couple different long barrel ones, but the one I'm looking at is the one with the 2-inch barrel. They don't have the green one, something like this. I like that one with this stainless or nickel, I guess, cylinder. Stainless. That's the Taurus Judge. It shoots 410 and 45 long Colts. This one is in 357, but I can still get like rat shot, like shot shells. I like this one a lot. I played with one with a polymer frame. This is obviously not polymer, but it's a cool pistol. I'm trying to find a used one first. But the places I went today to look at guns and see if I liked them and hold them and actually put them in my hand, I probably wouldn't buy from there just because they're not local. If I'm going to buy one, even if I buy one new, it would be to like one of the shops that wasn't open today that was like local to me probably. One of them was Academy, and I probably won't do Academy. They're not very 2A friendly as a company. The other one was called Mahoney's, which is technically a local shop, just not local in my town, and there's 2 in my town. So I would rather go to those 2 and see what they got. But they weren't open today, so I'll go back tomorrow.
crazy. So I wanted to make sure that we let everybody join in and not have any.
32 million people watching, guys.
I don't have the video able to rewind. No sound? That can't be possible.
Oh my God. You guys want to listen to them on normal speed? That's one of my favorite guns. Which one?
No,
the Judge or the other one?
You guys can't hear me? Sound is low?
Oh, they're just deaf. Phil, if you reach out to me, I will put together a Pelican case that you literally just open up, pop a thing up, a camera up, and a microphone up, and plug it into whatever computer you have, and it just works.
I don't know what I'm going to be able to do.
I'll charge you a lot, but it'll work.
I mean, I'm only using the laptop speakers. Sound is good. I could hear you. If it's low, turn.
I looked at some Rugers. So I looked at those two pistols just because Taurus is a decent name, but they're pretty cheap. And it's going to be like a pocket gun, right? And I know the reason, first of all, the reason I don't just carry one of my, like a Glock or something is because shot shells don't feed very well in a semi-automatic gun. Usually, when they hit with a steep feed ramp, when it hits the feed ramp, they got instead of being a bullet, they got a piece of plastic in there that holds shot, like a shotgun shell. And that plastic fucks up. Sometimes the shot comes out in the gun. They're just not great for shot shells. And that's what I need for snakes or whatever. So this is going to be a pocket gun. I don't want to spend a lot of money on it. It's going to be in my pocket. But another reason I don't typically carry one of my other pistols while I'm just out working is because I get so damn sweaty and I carry appendix. So it fucking ruins the finish on a gun unless you're just cleaning it and oiling it all the time. So I carry 99% of the time. But if I'm doing something like weed eating, I usually set it in the front seat of the Jeep or somewhere I could get to it quick and not have it digging into my fucking waist and being covered in sweat and dirt and grime and shit. But this will be like in a Kydex holster in my pocket, kind of. I'll just dedicate a pocket to it, my right pocket when I'm at work. Then I'll have it for snakes or if something else happens.
Turn up your volume because everybody else is saying theirs is fine. And this is the best I could do because...
Yes, that's a P.
The rumors are true. I am in Jamaica.
A P for Jamaica.
Which is really close to Guantanamo Bay. Never really thought of that way until just now, just this moment. Yeah. Well, anyway.
So Phil's trying to tell people he's at Guantanamo Bay, of course. He also tried to tell, it's like it's 200 and some miles away. It's not that fucking close, but it is. He also tried to tell people that there was this big hack that went on in the Midwest that they're just now realizing how big it was that destroyed a lot of people's routers. And it was back over the was it the summer? Back during last summer. But anyways, the news said that they used, let's see, what exactly were they saying versus what he said? I think the news said something like they use pretty simple techniques. Okay, here's what it says. It says the report did not name the company that was attacked, nor did Lumen attribute the hack to a particular country or known group. The researchers said the saboteurs used common methods, which made them harder to identify. So a lot of times when you have like hacker groups or even countries, they'll have like a favorite method, like a more complex method they use. And it's one of the ways you can identify who did it. You might not know exactly who did it, but you could say, you could basically say like they typically use this method and they've used it again, so it helps identify them. And Phil says common methods, liars, 100%, as if he somehow was hacking motherfuckers routers in the Midwest. Like it is, let's see, hundreds of thousands of U.S. internet routers destroyed in newly discovered 2023 attack. An unidentified hacking group launched a massive cyber attack on telecommunications company at the U.S. heartland last year that disabled hundreds of thousands of internet routers, according to research published Thursday. Security analysts with Lumen Technologies, Black Lotus Labs, discovered the attack in recent months and reported on it in a blog post. The October incident, which was not disclosed at the time, took more than 600,000 internet routers offline. Independent experts said it appeared to be one of the most serious cyber attacks ever against America's telecommunications sector, which is kind of a big deal. Like, I'm not diminishing the news story, but it didn't have shit to do with Phil. Do the judge, you won't regret it. I like the way it felt. So I like that short, but I like the 3-inch chamber judge, but it has the longer barrel on it and it's a longer chamber. So you can use all the 410 rounds. You don't have to get a 2.5-inch 410 round, but it's just too big. So my options are either get a different revolver or get the 2.5-inch. So we're talking about the shotgun shells it uses. Most shotgun shells go up to like 3 inches. Some of them actually go to 3.5, but this length of the silver part right here If I get the longer barreled version, like this one or this one with like the 4-inch barrel, it usually has a 3-inch chamber. No, this is 2.5 too. One of them has a 3-inch chamber. I can't remember which one. They'll have a 3-inch chamber. Here it is. That take so you can shoot 3-inch or 2.5 in it. But the whole gun overall is now too long. I kind of like the look. And I guess I'm sure they make 45 long Colt shot shells. I guess I could use those as well. I kind of like the look of this one, though, and the way it'll fit in the pocket. It's shorter barrel, shorter chamber, only a 2.5-inch chamber. So it's either going to be that or a different revolver. I kind of like this one. I don't know. I'm going to look used first. Even at the gun shops, they take a lot of stuff on consignment and have it used, but we'll see.
My name is Phil Godleski, and I have not been live in over a week. And when that happens, people generally freak out. And that is exactly what
it was hard to find. It was hard to find any 410. They had 2 different boxes of 410 shells, and that was it. At Mahoney's, which is a store in like the next town over. And then Academy didn't have any 410 anything.
My name is Phil Godleski, and I have not been live in over a week. And when that happens, people generally freak out. And that is exactly what's been happening for the last several days and maybe even more than a week. So I apologize for my absence. Let me just make a couple of changes here real quick. Maybe I can mess with you.
Atlanta is in a state of emergency. I saw a news story about that. Someone just mentioned it in chat. Water main breaks happen. There's a lot of economic activity and construction happening in Atlanta in the last 2 years. Anytime you get a big city like that, like I always complain about Knoxville, because it seems like every time we go to Knoxville, there's a new, by the time they finish construction on like the roads and shit, they have to fucking start over just because there's so many traffic, so many roads, so many people. But like Atlanta is much bigger than Knoxville. So I'm sure there's constantly stuff going on. It says Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens declared that the city is now under a state of emergency following now 2 days of activity to repair a handful of water main breaks throughout the city, including 2 major ones. I think there's been people warning for a long time that that infrastructure would be like a big issue. They said someone hacked into the water system. I don't know about that. I just heard it was water main breaks. If something happened with their pressure and pressure reduction, multiple water main breaks could just happen. Cancel concerts, close venues, temporarily close business. Just part of the problems. Low water pressure has affected flushing toilets, having safe drinking water, and has had even more impacts on the residents. Bull water advisory out of caution. Crews were able to repair a major water main break in Atlanta's Mechanicsville neighborhood at Joseph E. Boone Boulevard and James P. Brawley Drive. The break had a major impact citywide, however. Dickens said they're still working to repair a major water main break at 11th Street and West Peachtree Street that has impacted homes and businesses in Midtown Atlanta. Dickens said that fixing that main was a little more complicated, but that crews are working around the clock to fix it. The mayor said that enacting a state of emergency would allow the city to address resources in an expedited fashion. He said that the city has been working with Georgia Department of Emergency Management, GEMA, and that he appreciates the support from the state in helping the city's water back up and running normal. He also said that city officials have checked in on Metro Atlanta hospitals to ensure that operations are running smoothly. That they have also been checking on senior living communities. They're expecting 100 pallets of drinking water to arrive and can be ready to distribute that on Sunday morning. 11 Alive is keeping track of the water main breaks and updates. I didn't hear anything about a hack, and someone said it's not true, but I didn't hear anything about it. Oh, there are people that are talking about it, though, I guess on YouTube. April 4th, what is this?
What would happen if hackers got into our country's water
this is from
systems?
this is from a month ago, I guess, but it's weird they were talking about it.
House doesn't want to find out. Last month, federal officials sent a letter to Governor Brian Kemp and other governors across the country.
They implored them to assess vulnerabilities in local water departments and fix them, or else risk debilitating hacks that could impact crops, drinking water, even health systems. Fox Alex Whitler looked over that letter and spoke to cybersecurity analysts about what needs to be done. Alex joins us now from the live desk. Good morning, Alex.
Yeah, we asked several Georgia localities what they plan to do to keep you safe. Atlanta leaders say since last year, it's been working on several projects to address and mitigate potential risks. Cobb County says its current water system exceeds the industry guidelines, but with a warning from the White House about planned threats from China and Iran, it's clear the federal government wants us all to think of the...
Ooh, that's kind of weird that last month they were warning about it. This was in 2021. Atlanta Water head orders security review of computer systems used in drinking water systems. How safe is America's drinking water from 8 days ago? Atlanta took down... Oh, what's this? How recent is this? This is 2018. Atlanta takes down water department website 2 weeks after a cyber attack. Back in 2018, there was a cyber attack at the water department. Interesting, but I don't see anything confirming that. February 5th, 2024. So back in February, nearly a week after a cyber attack, Fulton County said some of its government services are back online. There was as county officials held a news conference late Monday afternoon and said they have been able to get some phone lines restored, but still have more work to do. They say the work has continued throughout the weekend to get everything back online. Fulton County Chairman Rob Pitts said the county tax system's still down. However, they resumed accepting household exemption applications. Motor vehicle tags are also back online. So this is a hack that happened back in February. Well, there you go.
The audio just a little bit.
Yeah, it seems like they're going around the clock working on it. Yeah, I would never listen to something from A&N.
While I'm doing this, you guys may hear a little bit of background noise.
We're listening to Phil at slow rate.
We got some stuff going on in the other room of our suite. So just try to kind of ignore that the best that you could. I'm making do with what I have here. It's not necessarily an ideal situation, going live from another country. I'm obviously relying on their Wi-Fi and relying on their services, which I'm 100% not used to. So let's try to bear with me tonight and try to get through this. And, we'll get back into our regular digs, so to speak, once we get back. But for those of you that don't know, Carrie and I have our 1 year anniversary coming up in the next couple days. And this is where we went for.
That means if it's a couple of days away from the anniversary, that means it's a little over a week away from the great catfishing, where Melon was getting dick pics from Phil. Oh, shit! I almost forgot. And we now could be under some type of legal precedent where we're all going to be fucking sued and locked up forever. I've got an announcement to make. This is in no way, shape, or form should be misconstrued as an attack or trolling or trying to hurt someone's feelings. This is an official announcement from the official Melon Man. I forgot to do this. Here we go. Stop what you're doing. Melon states, okay, so here is where we are at. These are his words, not mine. Red alert. I wish I had a siren to play. Okay, so here is where we are at. I don't bother any of you. So any attempts to further attempt, very weird way to phrase that. I'm sure that's directly from his lawyer. Any attempts to humiliate me or embarrass me purposely, preemptively, will result in whatever legal options or common law presents me with. whatever legal options our common law presents me with. If it ends up that there are grounds for criminal charges, I will press them to the furthest extent in whichever capacity I can. He's taking us to jail. So, I'll ask again. Please leave me alone. I can't speak for others legally, but they can choose to say what they will. For me, I'm asking the harassment to cease. Aim. I will be leaving this room, so I have no affiliation with any of those that purposely meant me harm. Unless you are in some other room I am in that I'm unaware of because you're using a secondary name and not identifying yourself as a common name I know you as. I have zero affiliation with any of those that have caused me harm. I am asking for zero contact from at Jessa, PhD. Evil! At Will Bird. Evil! At Lavada. Evil! At Whisk Away. At Head of the Family 10. At Lou. At Killa, hashtag Lil Miss Dangerous. At All the Rage. At Trump Girl for You. At Maria5299. At Incognito. At Yes Sir. At Mama Dukes, hashtag Team Pebbles /Brie. At I Am Not a Cat. At Chris _8675309. At Bug Dude 5 Tree. At Expelled Retired Rip. At Yori Bori. At Truth or Roast, or TR. At Mostly Peaceful Redhead. At Pebbles. At that one mod of wheels that's from China. I will amend this to whoever distributes any material meant to purposely humiliate my character and to further harass me without due cause. I do not control what others do. I only control myself, as I don't have a history of sabotaging any of you. So I would gladly hand over my account information to the appropriate sources. You have been warned! Now, we can go back to our regularly scheduled broadcast. And if I see you in prison, I will put money on your books.
For our anniversary this year, Jamaica. So Carrie's never been to Jamaica. I was only in Jamaica one day about 20 years ago. So it's, kind of our first time for the most part. That's also why, there's a couple of reasons why I've been absent for the last week or two.
I'm terrified.
Here in a second.
I've already retained legal counsel. You guys, I don't know if I should spoil this or wait until, I actually have to show up in court, but I'm being represented by the law offices of Kathy H. Cunt.
But one of the reasons is because I've been spending a lot of time with Carrie around our 1 year anniversary. So
who the fuck takes a month off to celebrate their 1 year anniversary? I guess somebody who doesn't actually fucking work and just grifts. But
I know that's not to everybody's liking because you guys would like to see me go live absolutely every day.
Let me know in the chat if you want me to speed them up.
It's just not really feasible. There are certain weeks and certain months out of the year that my personal life is just crazy. You know, I have a lot of stuff going on with the kids, both my boys and Carrie's girls. And of course, we have a lot.
I already called D-Dog. Well, D-Dog works for Kathy H. Cunt and Dog Associates.
Going on, you know, just me and Carrie as well. So thank you for all the happy anniversaries. I appreciate that. It's actually June 4th, so in 2 days. But we've been celebrating it for like the last week. Carrie was in Pennsylvania.
Oh no, Carrie's celebrating. Here she comes.
I'm a little bit drunk because I'm drinking.
Celebrate, Carrie. Celebrate.
I'm a little bit drunk because I'm drinking.
Who thinks is it weird to have like a morbid fascination that I want to see Carrie's new tits while and in the same picture have that one tooth that's in front of the other tooth? Is that strange? If someone else, if someone else said that, would that be weird? If someone else said that, I'm not saying that, but like if someone else said that, like I want to see brand new tits on some old ass teeth, like some busted ass teeth with some fresh titties. If someone else said that, would that be weird?
For a little while with me and the boys. And
yes, she had. Oh my God. Where have you been? We've been batting them around like tether balls while you've been gone. Jesus Christ. What is wrong with you? Now I gotta go find her new tits. Don't worry, I got them saved. It's a big build up. God, there's so many titties. I got to figure out which ones are hers. Give me some. Oh, here we go. This is what we started with. That's literally an ankle sock wrapped around our chest, covering everything. This is the cleavage we started with. Yeah, but it's a screensaver on my phone. I can't show you my phone. These might actually be concave titties. Like there's like a space there for like if you had tits and it's like sunken in, right? And here's where we are now. God bless America. You don't put on 40 fucking pounds in your tits. Stop that argument. That's wrong. She got tits.
Then after this trip, we have a couple other things planned in June as well. So thank you for your patience. It looks like nobody really left me because the numbers are through the roof again tonight. So thank you for your commitment to me. And I obviously have that same
nobody left me
to you. And we're going to get back into regular live streaming. Now that I know that I could go live from Jamaica without any kind of issues, it seems like the connection's fine, other than the audio issue, which isn't the greatest, and the video.
You are not allowed to call boobs melon because it may think that it's like a 1950s put down where you call someone a boob.
Probably isn't the greatest either. Now I know I could go live from down here, so I'll probably do another live at some point this week. Won't be before Tuesday, but sometime later in the week, maybe Wednesday, Thursday, somewhere in there. We'll see what we can do. So,
cavernous.
Before we get started here, we got a lot to talk about, obviously, and I'm going to hold a Q&A after I talk for about half an hour. I want to set some things straight and also get everybody on the same page with what's been happening over the last week or two. Everybody was freaking out last week, and I think it's time we talk about that, obviously. And I'll tell you where we're headed. I'll tell you where how we got here, and I'll also tell you what to expect next. But before we do that, I want you guys to tell me where you're from. I'm obviously in Jamaica, man. tomorrow.
What? What was that?
But before we do that, why don't you guys tell me where you're from? I'm obviously in Jamaica. Jamaica, man.
Jamaica, man. I'm obviously in Jamaica. Jamaica, man. Is that how that works?
Expect next. But before we do that, why don't you guys tell me where you're from? I'm obviously in Jamaica. Jamaica, man. Tomorrow we go to Dunn's River Falls, and we have this rafting thing. I'm obviously in Jamaica. Jamaica, man.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Tomorrow we go to Dunn's River Falls, and we have this rafting thing. We're going to check out a couple what they call lagoons, where they have caves and stuff. It's going to be cool. Where are you guys at? Carson, Washington. Sotaville, Oregon. Waterloo, Iowa. Greece, near Italy. Colorado, Connecticut. Fruitland, Idaho. Topeka, Kansas. Sweden. Ocala, Florida. Brisbane, Australia. Kleinman, Wisconsin. Tecumseh, Michigan. Rochester, Green Valley. Alabama, Holland.
Tecumseh.
Massachusetts, England. Brisbane, Australia, Canada. Melbourne.
That's where Miraz from.
Brooklyn. Mercersburg, Pennsylvania. Baseball down there for a little while. And let's go one more. Toronto. When I don't go live for a week or two, like I've been. Tonight, I didn't really anticipate a big audience, because a lot of times when I go live, when I don't go live for a week or two, like I've big audience tonight, I didn't really anticipate. And let's go one more. Toronto, Ontario. All right, cool. Well, welcome everybody. Big audience tonight. I didn't really anticipate a big audience, because a lot of times when I go live, when I don't go live for a week or two, like I've been, sometimes it goes down, but that didn't happen at all. In fact, there's more people watching tonight than there was on my last live. So really, really cool. I appreciate your loyalty. I appreciate your commitment. And like I said, we're gonna get into some good stuff tonight that I think a lot of people want to hear. I don't necessarily know if you're gonna love it. But you're gonna love some stuff, but the other stuff is probably gonna annoy you, kind of like it annoys me. So let's just hop right into it, and I'll take some questions after.
Yeah, she'd have to gain fucking 200 pounds to get tits like that.
We'll do a live Q&A, not for a long time. Total
yes, Tecumseh, Michigan.
Got here about probably about 6:30 Eastern.
It's probably your Aunt Alice watching Phil.
Somewhere around there. So we got about another hour and 10 minutes, 20 minutes, somewhere like that. And like I said, I will go live again later this week. So, all right. So Trump gets convicted of 34 felony charges.
Oh my goodness.
We have to start at the beginning. You can't just say,
okay,
well, they prosecuted Trump and now he's a convicted felon. It's not that simple at all. Okay, so we have to really get in our mind.
It is literally that simple. Right now, he's a convicted felon. He may win on appeals. He may have it overturned. It may get thrown out. He may whatever. But right now, he's a convicted felon.
Mind that it's not just simply an accusation, an indictment, a trial, and then conviction. It's not that easy. Okay, you have to remember certain things, and I'm going to talk about those certain things now, and then we're going to expand on.
No, it literally is that easy. That's how it works. Because, yes, there's an appeal process, but the moment you're convicted, you're a convicted felon. And you have to abide by those. So, like, if I got convicted of a felony that I couldn't own firearms, I would be expected to turn those over immediately. Even if I say I'm going to appeal, I'm going to have it overturned, I'll have it thrown out, it's not real, I'll fucking pardon myself, it doesn't matter. I'm still a convicted felon.
On it as we go. Election fraud was committed in November of 2020, so all the way back to the very beginning. Now, prior to November of 2020, if you remember, Donald Trump signed numerous EOs, which are executive orders. An executive order is something that the President of the United States puts into place, and it basically bypasses the other branches of government. It bypasses Congress, doesn't have to go through the House, doesn't have to go through the Senate, doesn't have to be signed into law. It's just the President's way of saying, hey, I have ultimate control of this country, and I'm going to write a document that says that puts something into place, some sort of policy into place. Now, there's restrictions on what you could write executive orders for and what you can't. Of course, some things.
Wait, so he's not in control of the government. There's absolutely restrictions, right? It can be struck down. We've seen them struck down by like the Supreme Court and shit.
Like laws have to go into Congress and it has to be voted on by both houses and so forth. However, Trump signed numerous executive orders while he was in power. If you don't know about these executive orders, you really need to educate yourself on them, because everything that's happening right now revolves around your knowledge of those executive orders. Executive Order EO is what I'm going to call them going forward. EO 13818 in particular, and EO 13848 in particular. Those two executive orders you need to familiarize yourself with, because if you don't familiarize yourself with them, things are going to get confusing and frustrating and often aggravating at times, especially when you see who you believe to be president convicted of 34 felonies in a trial that seems like it was just, made out of food picks and toilet paper. There was not a single piece of evidence in that trial that screamed guilty, guilty, guilty. None of it. And this is why there was not a single piece of evidence in a trial that seems like it was just, made out of food picks and toilet paper. Believed to be president convicted of 34 felonies in a trial that seems like it was just, made out of toothpicks and toilet paper.
I thought he said poop sticks. That's why I went back.
There was not a single piece of evidence in that trial that screamed guilty, guilty, guilty. None of it. And
you don't know that. None of us know, other than like people saying, well, this is what happened. Well, this person talked about that. We didn't, it wasn't televised. It wasn't even made public, right? The jury got to hear the evidence and decide. That's the way our system works.
This is why we have to put everything into context, right? So before the election fraud of November 2020, these executive orders were put in place. And they were put in place, when they were put in place, it was kind of like, why are we talking about these particular topics? Like, what's the point of bringing something like this up in this context, in this, like, at this point in time? And a lot of those executive orders have to do with election fraud. So Trump and the White Hats anticipated election fraud. I think there's no doubt about that whatsoever, because in September of 2018, almost 2 full years before the election fraud of November of 2020, Donald Trump started talking about election fraud in an executive order.
He was talking about it before then because he was accused of election fraud, and it wasn't as prevalent. It was more like election influencing.
Kind of out of left field. Everyone's like, oh, well, okay, whatever. You write an executive order, you're the president, you can do this, but he did it.
It wasn't out of left field. Do you not remember Hillary talking about the Russians?
Then it kind of got forgotten about. And then the election fraud happened, and then people didn't forget anymore. They started talking about it, especially people like me. I've been talking about 13848 for a long time, as you guys I'm sure remember. And the biggest, how do I want to say this? The most intricate, strategic, impressive, and covert operation that this world has ever seen has been in effect for the last 8 years. Probably even longer than that, but we'll just focus on those 8 years. Going back to 2016, when Trump beat Hillary, they knew that there was going to be election fraud in 2016. There's been election fraud for years. We can't do anything about it because every president that gets in the office won't allow the Department of Justice to pursue anything on election fraud. You had Obama in office for 8 years. You had Bush in office for 8 years. You had Clinton before him. So we are not able to do anything about election fraud. That's why Trump ran for president. They needed somebody that was going to blow the election fraud out of the water. Go ahead, do your election fraud the same way you've been doing it for years. That's why all these presidents keep getting elected. That's why they all get placed into office. We need a candidate that's going to blow them out of the water with votes. So Trump went toe-to-toe with election fraud in 2016. And he won anyway. Hillary's pissed. So the anticipation of more election fraud in 2020 was there. That's why those executive orders were written. Now, fast forward to November of 2020, the election fraud occurred. I do not believe that the White Hats thought they would actually have to leave the White House. Before November 4th of 2020, prior to the election, they knew there was going to be election fraud. They knew what they had to do to mitigate the election fraud. Not stop it, but mitigate it and catch the people who were responsible for it. They had all these things in place. Years before, in some cases, like EO 13848. The election fraud happened. The White Hats had to leave. Trump had to leave, obviously, the White House. That was not anticipated. No matter what anybody says, they didn't think they were leaving the White House. Trump did not want to leave the White House. And he started conversing with these other White Hats, these other military generals, these high-ranking military, the Q team, basically, and others in the military as well. But they started conversing about where to go from here. What do we do next? And they didn't have a long time to do it. So they took Rudy Giuliani and Jenna Ellis, and they started meeting with the legislatures, and they tried to put something into place to stop this. We had Mike Pence, who could have stopped everything on January 6th, but didn't. We had the false flag operation on January 6th, where, you know, they just tried to rush the votes through the House so that Biden could be confirmed, and they had to get everybody out of there because of the insurrection. We all know about that, right? Once they knew they had to leave the White House, they were still in the White House. Trump was still president once they realized, hey, we're gonna have to get out of here, right? What do we do?
Okay.
So while Jenna Ellis and Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell and Lynn Wood, that's when all those names started becoming really, really familiar. You had Phil Waldron, right? He was going testifying in front of all these legislators. While all that was happening, trying to prevent Biden from actually taking power, Trump and the White Hats were over on this side. Jenna Ellis, everybody over there, Trump over here, right? And the goal was to allow this cabal entity to take over with restrictions. Trump devolved the government. We're in a state of devolution. We've been in a state of devolution. We talked about devolution on my show, and many other truthers have talked about it as well. We've been in a state of devolution since January of 2021, right before the election took place, or the inauguration took place. Trump put in a continuity of government system where there are basically two governments working side by side. One is the government that the people see, which is the Biden administration completely destroying the country in every single way that you could possibly imagine. And then the other legitimate president of the United States, Donald Trump, and his administration. If you think back to the initial orders of business, the initial duties of the Biden administration, Secretary Blinken would go overseas to meet with a foreign country for the first time. You know who else went on the same day Blinken went? Pompeo. Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo also went with those foreign nations. Why would that happen? Well, because the nations are now being given a choice. Which government do you recognize? Donald Trump's government, the legitimate government, or the fraudulent government of Joe Biden?
Oh, man.
What's going on?
Yeah, you didn't think about that, did you?
We have continuity of government in place. We devolved our government. We're no longer this. We're no longer that. This is how we're operating. Who do you want to side with? Pick now. And that's what happened right after Biden took office. Where I'm going with this is here. Ever since Trump decided to leave office and leave the White House, he's still been operating this country as a shadow president, as a shadow government. It's been happening ever since January of 2021 when Joe Biden was inaugurated. You remember the fake inauguration? Everything was wrong. You remember it looked like it was recorded on 2 different days. It was completely cloudy sky. On one day, everything was all gray and black and looked like
imagine clouds go away.
Weather. And then other shots, clear blue sky. This is the same day, like half an hour apart. Everything looked completely weird. Everybody remembers that, right? You have two simultaneous governments, one illegitimate and one legitimate. The illegitimate one is the public-facing one, so everybody sees, right? You have this other government over here, which is actually running things and doing stuff behind the scenes. Like what, you say? Well, look at what's happening to Meadows. Look at what's happening to the price of precious metals. Just in the last month, we're up, what, $10 an ounce?
Oh, my
Almost
goodness.
$10 an ounce? They are getting rid of the fraud in the precious metals market. They are rooting out the bad actors within the illegitimate government. Now, let's talk about that for a minute. You have this illegitimate government in place, right? You have Biden, you have his Department of Justice, you have his FBI, his CIA, his court-appointed judges, all of that stuff, right? Not everybody in that administration or in any of those branches that I just mentioned, not every single one of them are aware that Biden is an illegitimate president and they're operating under an illegitimate government. Not everybody is aware of that. There's probably, on that side, less than 10 people that actually know that this is a sham. Everything that's happening is a sham. It aggravates me because even though it is illegitimate and even though that is the case and we are going through all this bullshit, it's still happening in real time, right? It's not like we could pause, delete, backspace, and go back to the moment when it started. You can't do that. But the way that I equate this is like a casualty of war. When you're in war, you have casualties. There's no doubt that you have casualties when you're in a war.
Okay.
There's no denying it and there's no doubting it. The only thing that you could do is try to limit the casualties, mitigate the damages, and hopefully survive. We have been led through 4 years of humiliation as a country, decimation in terms of our economy.
Yeah, I think when I checked into it, it's like 30K or something.
Although we've been shouting at the top of our lungs as the people for someone to do something, nothing seemingly has happened. And what happened last week with Trump being convicted of all these felonies makes us feel even worse in many ways.
So the white hats are making you feel bad.
But you have to remember something. The things that you see with your own eyes, and I know it's hard to not trust your own eyes. You see something, you hear something with your ears, with your eyes, your brain processes it, and it's hard to say, oh, well, yeah, that's not really happening. But the bottom line...
Dr. J, dance break, sorry.
And the truth of the matter is that what people are seeing, is this bothering you?
Oh my God.
Oh,
he can't work a curtain?
that is bad.
Good Lord.
That's so stupid. I don't know why. I didn't even notice it. Everybody's commenting on it in the chat. Anyway, what you have to realize is this type of event, this type of scenario, this type of plan, continuity of government, devolution, has never happened before.
Fresh the Rumble page.
No one's ever done this. There's no precedent.
Who the fuck goes to Jamaica and buys a shirt that says Jamaica and wears it around in Jamaica? What the fuck? That is Dr. J. She sent me that clip. I green screened it out. Everybody wants to know what the Mistress Banana looks like? Right there. Phil looks like he enjoys it. Look at them fake ass teeth where I just paused this at. Wow. Those look super real, Phil. So real. That's amazing.
It's the first time any of this has ever happened. So when you say, "Oh, well, that doesn't look right. That doesn't look, legitimate. This is weird. Like this is yeah, because it's never happened. Of course it's weird. The first time anything ever happens, it's going to be a little weird." And that's exactly where we're at now. So when you see Trump being convicted of 34 felonies, this is nothing but the legitimate government, Donald Trump's government, with his cabinet, with his secondary White House, which is Mar-a-Lago, with his Department of Justice.
Secondary White House at Mar-a-Lago.
With his Secretary of State, with his FBI. You know a lot of people that are in that government. Cash Patel's in that government. You have some of the people that are very, very close to Trump that had taken Trump's side right after the election fraud. Ron DeSantis. Hold on, let me text him. You have Ron DeSantis. You have
Ron DeSantis took Trump's side. Wasn't he just running against him?
I'm not going to name every General Flynn. You have all these people who took Trump's side and the white hat side very, very early on, and they've never wavered from that side. Linwood.
Well, General Flynn's definitely wavered, and so has Ron DeSantis. When are you making this video? Is this video made in December of 2021?
And while all these things are happening on the television, and CNN covered it every single day of the trial, of course, the only way they get ratings is if they cover Trump. So Trump on trial, boom, let's advertise this, just ridiculous. Trump is literally exposing to the public in the only manner that the public is going to understand how bad things really are. And it's very unfortunate.
By going to jail.
It's unfortunate for us that lost loved ones in this mess.
I don't think that Trump will go to jail. I just think that's a ridiculous statement. I think he'll probably be given some fines and some type of restrictions, maybe even probation. Phil thinks he'll go to jail.
Due to anxiety, due to stress, due to...
Yeah, that slack jaw, Sometimes I have to go easy to Mariah. She's starting to get it a little bit. It's from blunt force trauma to the back of your throat. The technical term for it is meat on meat contact. Just beating the hell out of it. It strains the muscles.
Lost jobs, lost wages, financial turmoil, financial distress, COVID, the vaccine, complications from the vaccine. So many different things we could point to with this past 4 years and say, oh, well, you know, Trump had just stayed in office. None of that would happen. But guess what? If Trump had just stayed in office, the same exact thing would have happened anyway in 2024 because the cabal would have installed another president in 2024. And all that happened was it would be everything that started in 2020 would have been delayed until 2024. So there's no way that you could sit there and say, oh, well, you know, I wish this nightmare would be over.
Buffering.
Well, it could be over. We could have ended it already. The White Hats could have ended it already. And had they done that, we would have been in the same exact position in 2024 because we never would have won the election in 2024. It would have never happened. It would have just been more of the same. You would have had 8 years of Trump, great period, right? Everything was great. And then it just disappears and then we're back to where we were. So we had a great 8 years and then the next 20, 30, 50 years are turmoil. It had to happen this way. It's the only way that it could have happened. It's the only way that the ultimate goal and the ultimate sacrifice was actually going to fix anything.
Is he trying to make Trump Jesus? The ultimate sacrifice? Laid down his life for you and me?
That was wrong with this world. And I'm not just talking about, you know, within the United States. The cabal runs the world. It's not just one cabal president on the top of a government in the United States. It's cabal presidency across the map. It's big corporate. It's big pharma. It's the manipulation of the stock market. It's the manipulation of the metals market. There's so many things that are wrong with society. And the only way for this to happen was the way that it happened. And unfortunately, it's just how it is. So what you saw last week with Trump's conviction was, it was exactly what Trump said it was, a sham trial. It wasn't even real. Look at some of the illegal advice and direction that the judge in that trial gave to the jury. It's illegal. Trump's
illegal advice. Illegal. Not just confusing. It's illegal.
Convictions, right? Because again, it's just like a game. It's just a story. It's just to show the public who are watching the news, who don't watch truthers like me, who don't know about the Great Awakening, who don't know about the plan. All those people that are still just completely either half asleep or completely asleep. It's all for them to see and get exposed to what the cabal is actually doing. So on appeal, if this were...
If Phil could even explain the intricacies of Trump's trial and the issues like with the scope problems and intent and all that. Federal! I would be amazed.
A real case, right? And this was a real conviction. On appeal, the case gets thrown out. It immediately gets thrown out. The judge was not only compromised in the trial, but the judge gave a legal direction to the jury. Every single count would be dismissed on appeal immediately. But that's not even important. It doesn't even matter how they end up playing that out. I got news for you. Put your listening ears on. If you think the judge gave a legal direction to the jury, every single count would be dismissed on appeal immediately.
A legal direction to the jury. Now, even the worst people that actually know what they're talking about are saying that it was confusing, right?
Not even important. It doesn't even matter how they end up playing that out. I got news for you. Put your listening ears on. If you think that the reaction and how you felt when you saw the felony convictions, if you think that that was bad, wait until he gets sentenced to jail. Because I'm telling you right now, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Okay.
They are literally
That's exactly,
going to throw him in jail.
He's going to be sentenced to jail. They're going to try to throw him in jail. They're going to try to throw him in jail. That's what they're going to do. They're going to throw him in jail.
The sentence is going to come down, and he's going to get jail time. And I told you guys, you know, I don't know how long each of you have been following me, whether it's 3 months, 3 years, 3 weeks, 3 days. I had a live just last month, and it was called The Event. If you haven't, probably go back and watch.
What's the event?
Because
what is it?
In that live we're living through right now. It was in that live, and I think the live even before that, maybe the one right before that one, where I said there needs to be an event. There has to be an event that changes the public perception of what's happening, meaning Trump's on trial, Trump is, you know, campaign, Trump is election, he's talking about the election, he's doing all this stuff. There has to be a very strong line in the sand, line of demarcation that veers us off the path of what everybody is seeing publicly, the public-facing story, so to speak. Everybody that's seeing that, there has to be a switch. And the only way to switch that perception, the only way to switch that pathway is there to be a very jaw-dropping gut punch to not only Trump, but to the United States and for that matter, the world. Because what's happening here is the White Hats are running the show, and they are showing the public how a Department of Justice, a White House, in many cases Congress, and in some cases the Supreme Court have all been corrupted to the point where Trump is being politically assassinated by his political opponents, not because of crimes, but because of he's running for president. The main reason why he's going through all this is because he's a candidate against the cabal. And the white hats are pulling those strings like puppeteers, and they're making everybody watch it, and they're making everybody buy into it. And honestly, they are doing a fantastic job. Why? Because I personally know people, and you guys are mostly
he knows these people.
So you see when that verdict came down, your smile went up, right? You weren't nervous at all because most of you know what's going on. Most of you could tell when there's a line of bullshit being given, right? But some of you, based on the comments that I saw on Telegram, I was very quiet, obviously, for the last couple of weeks. I haven't been posting much. Some of that had to do with my personal life, but a lot of it had to do with a gag. I mean, I was literally told, hey, we got a big thing going on.
Somebody was gagging him. He was gagging on it. He was gagging on it, literally.
Here, I'm paraphrasing. Hey, we got a big thing going on here. We don't want too many people to know about it, so watch what you say and watch what you post. And I said, okay, and that's what I'll do. So that's the first time, by the way, that I was ever given that directive in that manner. I've been told to watch what I say on lives and maybe not hold a live, but I've never been told to watch what you post. Telegram's always been something that I post to daily, that people get daily updates from, and it's never been watch what you do on there. You know what I mean? So that was the first. So I knew something.
So here's the law as written in New York. Okay. So this is the second degree. This is the misdemeanor part of it. The misdemeanor, the second degree, not what Trump got with the first degree. But this is the misdemeanor one, the non-felony. A person is guilty. Hold on just a second. A person is guilty of tampering with public records in the second degree when, knowing that he does not have the authority of anyone entitled to grant it, he knowingly removes, mutilates, destroys, conceals, or makes a false entry in or falsely alters any record or written instrument filed with, deposited in, or otherwise constituting a record of public office or a public servant. Tampering with public records in the second degree is a Class A misdemeanor. First degree. It's 175.25, okay? A person is guilty of tampering with public records in the first degree when, knowing that he does not have the authority or entitled to grant to it, and with the intent to defraud. That's the way the New York law is written. You know how we were talking about this other crime, this other crime, this other crime, this other crime? The other crime was, it doesn't matter what the other crime is. It's just because it was an intent to defraud in some other way, whether that was with taxes, whether that was with business records, or whether that was with the election commission. The only difference in 175.20 and 175.25 from a first degree from a misdemeanor in the second degree to a first degree felony is with intent to defraud. So you can argue all you want about, like, well, he didn't commit this crime. They can't prove it. It was just intent to defraud is all they were proving. That's why it could have been any of those laws, because for some reason he was doing it, right? Was he doing it because him and Michael Cohen think it's funny to have cool secrets together? Was he doing it to show that he can trust Michael Cohen with a big juicy secret? Did they pinky promise and that's the only reason he did it? Obviously, he was doing it to hide it. That's intent to defraud.
The big was coming, and it made total sense with the intel that I was given in weeks prior. That said, hey, there's going to be a line of demarcation. There's going to be something.
And Giuliani is the dumbest motherfucker in all of this. Came out and said, "Oh, he paid him. He just stacked it in with his retainer payments." That's hiding the payments. Giuliani, Trump had to come out and say, "Oh, Giuliani doesn't know what he's talking about. He'll get caught up on it later." Trump's lawyer came out and told us he did it and hid it. Because retainer is only for retainer. Right? That's to keep a lawyer ready to go and working on your stuff and by your side. They'll always be available for you. When you say, "Oh, he paid him back in the retainer payments," what you're telling us is he claimed it was a retainer for a lawyer, but he was actually paying back a loan or a donation or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Giuliani's a fucking retard for saying that.
Very, very big that happens that forces military action. And that event is going to be Donald Trump getting sentenced to prison. And I think you really need to brace yourself for that happening, because I think his sentencing date is July 11th. If I saw it right, I don't even know when it is, so don't quote me on that exact day. But on July 11th, or whenever his sentencing day is for these 34 felonies, you are going to hear that he got sentenced to jail, and you're going to panic. Well, you shouldn't panic because you're here listening to me with your ears. Right?
Okay.
You hear me?
You listening to me with your ears? I'm listening with my tongue.
Supposed to happen.
It tastes amazing.
We need him to be sentenced to jail. We can't go through this whole process, get him convicted of all these felonies, and then he just gets away with it, right? So what do you think is the actual plan here? Did he get sentenced to jail and he goes to jail? And he runs for president from jail? Technically, you could do that. And if he wins, then what? He's still in jail? Does he pardon himself? What happens? So is that how it's going to go? He's going to get sentenced to jail, and he's going to go to jail, and what? Biden wins again? Or whoever the candidate is wins because there's no Republican candidate? What happens then? That's not a pathway. Okay, so that's not going to happen.
We're not playing these fucking cagey conspiracy game. You can stop all that shit.
How about he doesn't get sentenced to jail? So what does he get sentenced to? House arrest? Probation?
Or leave. I don't care. Either one. You're good.
For 34 felonies? You know Al Capone? Former gangster? Big time gangster? You know he only ever had 15 felonies? Trump has 34. So there's no way that these crimes don't carry jail time. They do. And he's going to get sentenced. Then what? That's the obvious question, right? What happens after he gets sentenced to jail? Well, you guys have been asking for it for years. You've been telling me to flip the switch, hit the button, pull the strings, go take over, whatever. You're going to hear the EBS. You're going to hear the EBS, and you're going to see the military stop this. How they're going to do it, I don't know. I really don't know. Well, you guys have been sentenced. Then what? That's the obvious question, right? What happens after he gets sentenced to jail? Well, you guys have been asking for it for years. You've been telling me to flip the switch, hit the button, pull the strings, go take over, whatever. You're going to hear the EBS.
You've been telling me to hit the switch. I'm going to.
You're going to hear the EBS, and you're going to see the military stop this. How they're going to do it, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what that next step is, but I do know that that's when all will be revealed. And I told you it has to happen sometime in the summer because the November election is creeping up on us. You look down, it's June of 2024. The friggin' election is in 5 months. So there has to be something, an event that
the military is going to do it, guys. The military
finally puts all of the actors on the stage, raises the curtain, no more bullshit. Here's what's been happening. EBS comes on. Trump makes an announcement revealing the presidential emergency action document. The PED talks about the executive orders, talks about continuity of government, talks about devolution. There has to be a reveal. There has to be.
How do we know when Trump's talking about the PED, he's not talking about you?
So the question that has been on every single one of your minds, or at least
he said he set up the EBS in Italy for it to go off.
Should have been on every single one of your minds is how? How do we get to that point? When do we get to that point?
Thank you for the donations tonight, Bergie. I appreciate that.
We've been waiting and waiting and waiting. You know how many messages I get? You know how many
donations have been way down. Maybe it's because I'm boring and shitty.
I get on Telegram, how many comments I get on Rumble, how many comments I get. We've been waiting, Phil. We've waited. We listen to you nonstop. You're our favorite truther. You're our number one. We hang on your every word. I appreciate that, guys, but I'm not in control of this. Understand?
Yeah, he said we're not having elections, but now the military is going to have to step in before the elections.
The PED talks about the executive orders, talks about continuity of government, talks about devolution. There has to be a reveal. There has to be. So the question that has been on every single one of your minds, or at least should have been on every single one of your minds, is how? How do we get to that point? When do we get to that point? We've been waiting and waiting and waiting. You know how many messages I get? You know how many tags I get on Telegram? How many comments I get on Rumble? How many comments I get? We've been waiting, Phil. We've waited. We listen to you nonstop. You're our favorite truther. You're our number one. We hang on your every word. I appreciate that, guys, but I'm not in control of this. Understand that. I have someone that tells me that someone that does have access to those in control. Not that I don't have access, but he has better access nonetheless. Someone that is closer to the situation feeds me intel, and I pass that intel along when I'm allowed to, when I'm told to. And if I'm restricted, I'm restricted. Regardless of that, I don't control when any of this happens. I can't come in and be like, okay, well, you know what, I'm taking over now. Because let me tell you something. I wouldn't have done it this way. This whole white hat plan where they take over, covertly, and they run the government, they run the United States, they run the world.
Dr. J banned me and you too. Ooh, what was that about? Little spat in the background. What are you doing over there, Dr. J? Huh?
They rid the cabal behind the scenes, kind of while no one's paying attention. It's happening under your nose, but you don't actually know that it's happening because this whole script is being played out in the mainstream media. Russia invades Ukraine, right? China lands. I just got an alert today. China landed on the far side of the moon. First time anyone's ever landed on the far side of the moon. For the love of God and everything holy. That's what we're talking about. So all of this distraction happening in the mainstream media, right? You had Biden's withdrawal of troops and the Taliban taking over, all the soldiers that died out there, all the equipment that was left out there, all of this stuff happening while the cabal was actually being taken down by the White Hats and by the Trump administration and by the alliance that has formed between the United States, China, and Russia. Those three world powers have become one and have combined their resources, combined their intelligence, and combined their hate.
It's a lunar probe. I don't think there's any astronauts aboard, right? It's a lunar probe to take soil samples and something else. I think it's called Chang 6. Atsuko would know all about it. Atsuko, are you still here, or have your Chinese overlords cut off the internet for the day?
For the cabal and their love for humanity.
I see how it is, Dr. J. Me and you two's getting too much attention. You're not getting enough. You pull out the banana hammer.
And their love for the people into one force. And that's what Trump's capitulation tour was all about in 2017. That's when the alliance was formed.
They capitulated, guys. They capitulated.
Honestly, if the election fraud didn't happen and Trump and the White Hats didn't get forced to lose the White House, this would have been over years ago. we wouldn't be sitting here today talking about it. I can tell you that right now. We would have implemented NESARA. We would have had free energy. We would have had new humanitarian projects. Our world would be completely different than what it is right now, in a much better way. But there was no way to get there. That's why they had to do it this way. Do I like it? No. But do I know every single detail that they knew when they made the decision to do it this way? No, I don't. And I'm a little bit more competitive. I'm a little bit more passionate. Me and Todd, Todd Collins, Todd Father, me and Todd talk about this a lot because we did this with a couple of the companies that we started. I like to, you should always crawl, walk, then run, right? You never want to hop into something and just run because you're going to fall flat on your face if you don't know what you're doing, right? I am constantly running before I'm walking, and I'm constantly running before I'm crawling. I don't do that shit. Like let's go. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to wait for this and wait for that. If I can get it now, I want it now. I don't want to wait. If it makes strategic sense to wait, then I'll consider it, but I still don't want to do it. So having somebody like me at those tables, conversing with the White House.
Spicy is driving her handlers crazy. She's not even supposed to be giving away these Chinese secrets over here in chat. That's what she's driving.
Tell them, screw that, let's just go anyway. That's not the greatest plan, honestly. So someone like me shouldn't be in charge of those decisions, or anybody that doesn't have the right mindset and the overall goal in mind, they shouldn't be making those decisions either. So, and it's funny too, I forgot to mention this, but I'll say it now. When you look at the signs, when you look at the little comms that are injected into this script, into this movie that we've been watching. We've been talking about watching the movie, popcorn sale, yeah, I get it. But if you look at the little things that were injected into this story, just to to tip the hat, so to speak, to the Anons, to the Great Awakening, and to the true supporters of Trump, not just the MAGA movement, but the Anon movement, the Q movement, and everything else. If you look at specifically the amount of felonies that Trump was convicted of, 34, right? 34. Now, in a fake, made-up trial designed to only fool the mainstream media and the people watching the mainstream media and the general population, for that matter. Because
what is 34 divided by 2? What is 34 divided by 2? Because there's two sides to every story.
We could have 20, 30, 40 million people watching me. There's still many other people that don't, right? So all of those other people are either watching the show, watching the movie unfold and believing it, or hearing it from somebody else, gossip. $200 million was raised for Trump after the verdict. So enough people know about the verdict. So you have to look at the little things sometimes to get confirmation of the things that are coming out of my mouth and the signs that Trump is trying to send to you and that the White Hats are trying to send to you and send to us. And one of those signs is the number of felonies. This is a sham trial, not in the sense that Trump's trying to make it seem. It's not even real in that kind of sense. Like, it's not a real trial. It's just literally a play. It's like a movie. It's a script. And it's designed to show you how bad things really are. So when you look at little things like the number of felonies, 34, out of all the numbers that they could have invented, right? But it did 17. Sure. Well, it just so happens that 34 is double 17. So let's talk about that.
Oh, shit.
Also, if you look at Q drop, number 34. Q drop 34. Let me read it. I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do it now. I'm not going to put it on the screen because I'm a little weary of the internet here in Jamaica, and I don't want to disrupt the good flow that we have going on. This is Q drop number 34. It was posted on November 1st of 2017. Read it to you. My fellow Americans, over the course of the next several days, you will undoubtedly realize that we are taking back our great country, the land of the free, from the evil tyrants that wish to do us harm and destroy the remaining refuge of shining light. On POTUS's order, we have initiated certain fail-safes that shall safeguard the public from the primary fallout, which is slated to occur 11.3 upon the arrest announcement of Mr. Podesta, actionable 11.4. Confirmation to the public of what is occurring will then be revealed and will not be openly accepted. Public riots are being organized in serious numbers in an effort to prevent the arrest and capture of more senior public officials. On POTUS's order, a state of temporary military control will be actioned and special ops carried out. False leaks have been made to retain several within the confines of the United States to prevent extradition and special operator necessity. Rest assured, the safety and well-being of every man, woman, and child of this country is being exhausted in full. However, the atmosphere within the country will unfortunately be divided, as so many have fallen for the corrupt and evil narrative that has long been broadcast. We will be initiating the emergency broadcast system during this time in an effort to provide a direct message, avoiding the fake news, to all citizens. Organizations and/or people that wish to do us harm during this time will be met with swift fury. Certain laws have been pre-lifted to provide our great military the necessary authority to handle and conduct these operations at home and abroad. Now, that was dropped 34. Couple weird things about that. Why wasn't it drop number 1? Because doesn't it sound like things are kicking off?
Because this all started out as a troll, then it got out of hand, so you had to like backpedal to make it seem like it was legit. Oh no, something else? Wow.
Shouldn't that be the very first drop? Why is it 34? Why were there 33 Q drops prior to that drop? Is that weird? Because to me it's weird. I think that should have been the very first drop that kicks things off, that really said, hey, I'm Q. He signed himself Q clearance patriot. Not Q, it just evolved to Q later on, or devolved to Q later on. But Q drop number 34 says all of that. And if you take those words that I just read that are written, you could look up the Q drops. You go to qalerts.app, I think it is. Yeah, Q alerts, all one word, Q alert, that's a letter Q, alerts.app, APP. And you can search every single drop that's ever been made from there. You can organize them, you can search for words, you can look at numbers, whatever. Drop number 34 out of all the drops. And if you take those words and put it into the current situation that we're in, with Trump being convicted of no less than 34 felonies, it fits. It fits perfectly. It fits like a final puzzle piece of a puzzle. And this is exactly what we've been waiting for. We've been waiting for that event that kicks things off. We've been waiting for that event that turns the pathway down the pathway that we've all been on, that we've been watching, that my intel has been referring to, that other truthers have been talking about. The pathway of November 2024, vote for Trump, blah, blah, blah. That's the bullshit pathway. That's the one that they want you distracted on. That's the road of distraction. What's actually happening, this covert operation that's been happening since 2016, really, this operation has been happening behind the scenes And only people that listen to people like me know about it, which blows my mind, but it's
makes
true.
sense.
That's how clandestine and that's how serious this operation is. They didn't want anyone to know about it. Just a few people. A few people kind of grew out of a few people. I think they were comfortable, with a million or two. But I'm so charming and handsome that I can't help.
Yeah, she's just jealous, man. You two. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. She's jelly banana.
If tens of millions of people end up following me, what do you want me to do about it? I mean, you could have picked some other guy. You could have had Sather do all this stuff, Jordan Sather, or Jeet Nick Alvear for that matter. Only a couple people would have followed them. Tens of people. So the writing is everywhere. The comms are everywhere. And this is what we've been waiting for.
Yes. Trump had the DA, who he claims he hates, is actually one of his operatives, charged him with 34 counts. He put on this sham of a trial where he fell asleep, shit himself. Everybody was like gagging and covering their nose and mouth while he was shitting all over himself asleep in the courtroom. This super embarrassing story about Stormy Daniels, and she does amazing when she testifies, by the way, and had the jury find him guilty on all 34 counts unanimously, so he could draw the attention to people to Q drop number 34.
This is what changes everything. This is what gets the movie to not only conclusion, but what gets the movie to turn.
You had her tore up all night, Dr. J. All night. She probably didn't sleep a wink. I passed out huffing air duster, but she probably didn't sleep at all.
The way of conclusion. We're not even pointing in conclusion's direction right now. Trump's getting convicted of felonies. Trump's getting sentenced to jail time. How is that conclusion in any way? It's not. So we have to have an event that turns it, and you're in the middle of the event.
Not when we were family, but now that I know we're not family, kind of indifferent.
You just saw the conviction. Now you're going to see the sentencing where you get sentenced to jail, and then you're going to see an eruption. You're going to see the pot finally boiling over. I've been talking about that damn pot for 4 years now. Crazy, 4 years. And one thing I like.
A full term. So either, here's what Phil says, especially if Trump wins. So either what actually happened was that Joe Biden was just president and Donald Trump's running again in 2024 and could possibly win, or Joe Biden was never president. It was a fake inauguration. He's a lizard person imposter. Trump actually won, and to catch everybody in every state at every time with cheating the election, Trump had to pretend to lose. Then he went to Mar-a-Lago, where he had to harass himself with his own government employees to get indicted several times, catch all these felony charges, look like a sore loser, come out, whine and complain, be wrong about everything, and he's going to be back any day now. But that any day now extends for 4 years, which just so happens to be the term of the other guy. And then he's going to run again to show everybody that all of that didn't actually happen. Or Joe Biden was just president for one term. One of the two.
That has happened. You can talk about all of the bad things that have happened over the last 4 years, but think about the good things that have happened, right? How many people have
Phil become a billionaire
that you otherwise wouldn't have met if everything remained, status quo?
Think about the good things, right? In your belief, people are literally being murdered by the health industry, and the economy is going to plummet, and the only jobs that will be available are patch salesmen. Your family members have fucking died. You've struggled. You can't pay your bill. You probably lost your house and your fucking car. Your retirement is tanked because you lost 40% of it to Goldco and another 6% to Phil. Everything sucks. But think about the friends you made along the way. Don't you guys like your friends? Some of you know Kathy H., right? You'd have never met her.
How many people have you met that are now in your life that you call a friend or even a family member with PH, right? How many things do you know that you've learned from me or from someone else in the last 4 years that you didn't know? How many of you have precious metals in your possession or have rolled over your retirement account out of the stock market and into metals? How many of you are in a better position for not only your future, but your family's future? When you're long gone and in heaven, did you make moves that have put your family in a better position? I bet you have. I bet you signed up for some of my companies and you have extra income. I bet you've signed up and rolled over accounts into precious metals through goldquiz.com. I'm sure you guys have done all that, or you've tried your hardest to at least take part in it, and you wouldn't have done that otherwise if it didn't shake out this way. So for all the bad that's happened, we should look at the good too, right? I mean, if you just want to constantly focus on the bad and just be a Debbie Downer all day long, that's your prerogative. No one's going to stop you. But they are going to push you away because the things that you're saying, those negative things, are not only negative, but people don't want to hear that, number one. And number two, that's not what's actually happening. And I know it's weird. I know it's weird to say, okay, I accept that there is a shadow government and a shadow presidency and this controlling entity that we're unaware of, the public, the general public is unaware of. I understand that that's happening, and I don't believe what I see on the television. and on mainstream media reporting. It's a really weird thing to have to say, to have to admit to. I get it. But listen, we are in a really weird world. You shouldn't be surprised that weird things are happening. You shouldn't be surprised that, first of all, whether you think Trump is operating a shadow government and this whole trial and the conviction is one big, psyop, basically to distract and educate and expose the cabal, whether you think that's true or not, none of you could deny that the world is run by a cabal, right? How could you deny that? There are people that run a world government and that pull the strings all over the place. They control the stock markets. They control the metals markets. They control governments. Their people are at the top of every government. They're at the top of every pharmaceutical. They're CEOs of the largest corporations. There is a cabal, right? Now, what's the hierarchy of the cabal? Who's on their board?
Where? What is it?
Are there announcements? Do they have a website? Are they in the mainstream media? Does Jacob the Rothschild come out every year with an annual report of expenses? Are there elected officials? Do they have term limits? What paperwork can we find through the Freedom of Information Act? Could we pull out any of that stuff? No. You know why? Because they've been doing it in secret for 200 years. There's a cabal running the world for 200 years. Yet you don't think there could be a shadow government in place of the United States and a secret alliance among world powers against the cabal? So you'll admit that there's a cabal, and you'll admit that there's these evil beings, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the J.P. Morgan, and the Bushes, Prescott Bush, and all. You'll admit that that's all not only possible, not only probable, but almost definitive. You'll admit to that. But you won't admit and acknowledge that there could possibly be a good group that's fighting that evil? Is that not hypocritical? How could you believe in the cabal and not believe that there's a white hat group, a world alliance, a shadow government? You can't have it both ways. You can't think that there's a cabal and then not think that there's a good force fighting the cabal on the behalf of the people. So you have to get that in your mind. You have to get it in your mind that the world is not what we see. The only way to find the truth in what's happening in the world is to dig and to research and to sit in front of your computer screens or your device and listen to people like me who just so happen to be able to talk about this stuff on a broadcast. Everyone should be cautiously optimistic. And when I say that, not because of an uncertainty of what will happen next, cautiously in the sense that people, when Trump does get sentenced to jail, people are going to feel like you just got punched right in your stomach. And it's going to feel nasty. Even if you know what's happening, what's really happening based on what I just told you tonight, even if you know all that, it's still going to feel really shitty. And there's not much that you can do about that. But you have to be strong.
I already feel pretty shitty.
You have to be strong mentally. You have to be strong physically.
Okay.
You can't cower. And you can't bring yourself down to a mental level that allows the fakeness of the world to get into your mind. Your mind has to be bulletproof. It really does. You have to put your big boy pants on, your big girl pants on, and trust that there is a plan, it is in place, and it's unfolding right now. You have to trust it. I've prepared everyone for this exact moment.
You have to. You have to trust this. There's no other option.
Even in my most recent live streams, I was talking about an event that needs to occur that will.
Oh, by the way, I'm starting the new YouTube channel. You guys know that. I meant to announce this earlier. Phil's video's almost over. I'm starting the new YouTube channel, and I think if you're already a Patreon, what's going to happen is you'll probably get the videos early, like a few days early. And that way, if I need to make an edit or whatever, you'll get like behind the scenes footage, some recordings, some like teasers and stuff that other people won't get. And you'll get the new creation videos early if you're a Patreon member. That's something else I can do because sometimes I can't do Patreon shows all the time. So there's new videos. The first one I'm kind of keeping secret. I know we've talked about the air cannon. We've talked about the one wheel video, but I've got a video that I haven't been talking about directly that I'm working on now. Actually, there's a project I'm building, trying to record it all, working on it.
Just resubscribed for 9 months.
Oh, thank you, Rusty Ruffle. Thank you. I appreciate it. Are you federal? Are you even federal, bro? Get the judge. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Will occur over the summer. I said it has to happen by June or July. And here we are in June or July, and it's happening. So we're okay. We're going to be okay. We're right where we need to be. Everything so far, although there have been some turns and some different pathways taken than I think the White Hats originally wanted there to be, and the public, even those that are awake like us, that we wanted. But we've stayed resilient. We've survived. We're here. And now we wait for the end. And I think all of us are prepared for the end. And it only gets better from here, other than the gut punch when you hear Trump's going to jail. I guarantee you.
It wasn't a rigged trial. You can't rig a jury. What was rigged? You can't say there wasn't good evidence, but the jury wasn't rigged. So you're saying there was no good evidence and they paid off the jury some way?
You'll never go to jail, no matter what. Because it's just not real. They're not real charges. It wasn't a real trial. It wasn't a real sentencing. And
it's always a real run. It's always a rerun.
Real sentencing.
Always.
So everybody, bring it down to a level, a zero anxiety level. Everybody relax. There's going to be many good things that come in the future. And we're going to have a front row seat for it. I'm really excited about having a front row seat. I'm really excited about having a voice.
I wonder who he sent his dick pic to from Jamaica.
This is all happening because you guys are all going to flock to me, I'm sure. And I'll be here. I'll be here for it. So we're going to skip the Q&A tonight. My next live, I'll hold a full Q&A, and I'm actually going to take topics for the Q&A so we could keep, I'm going to make topics that I want you guys to ask me questions on. Maybe we'll even vote on them on Telegram or Locals or something like that. So it'll be a very structured Q&A. It won't just be a random Q&A. Hey, what's going on with the Nick Alvear case? There's crap like that you guys don't want to hear about. It'll be very structured, and that'll be on my next live, which will be a little bit later this week. We'll have more time for it. Right now, it's just going to be an off-the-cuff Q&A if I do it.
Very structured.
So take the information I gave you tonight, rewatch the live if that helps, share this live, take a link to the Rumble live, put it on all your social media. I think people need to hear what I said tonight. I think it'll set a lot of minds.
Jesus Christ, what was it, for a millisecond?
Put everybody in the right mindset about what happens next, and I think it's necessary for as many people to see
anybody else buffering, it's back now.
This live as possible.
Oh.
So spread this link around as much as you could. Next live stream, we'll have a full Q&A. It'll be a structured Q&A, and I think you guys are going to like that one too. So thanks for tuning in. Sorry about my absence. We had an enormous audience tonight. We almost hit 40 million again.
Almost hit 40 million again. Almost hit 40 million. Almost hit 40 million. You believe that shit? That's crazy. Crazy. That's one out of every 6 adults in the United States is watching Phil. Go ask 7 of your friends that don't do internet shit if they watch Phil.
Really
on live. Not even the reruns. On a live stream while he's live.
Out of that, and I'm really honored to have those numbers and to have that many people watching me. You guys are absolutely the best, and I never take you guys for granted. Trust me, I know how lucky I am, and I know the position that I'm in is due completely to everybody, to all my viewers. So thank you so much, and I will see you. Be on the lookout for a live announcement probably tomorrow. I'll let you know when the next one's going to be, and I'll also put up the voting for the topics. We'll do that for the next day or two as well. Have a good night, guys. Love you all.
That's Phil, everybody. Using Rumble Studio. Barely figured it out. Edward Snowden himself. Jesus Christ. 40 million. 40 million people watching him. 34 counts. This is the one he warned you about. This is the big event. Trump will be going to jail to expose how bad Biden is. Trump will be convicted of 34 fucking felonies and go to jail to show you how bad his opponent is. Oh. Thank you, guys. I appreciate y'all coming out. Thank you for this supports donation. Please consider supporting the show if you're able to. I know a lot of people, it's hard times everywhere. So if that's something you're able to do, please consider supporting the show at coldbeer.fund. That greatly helps us out. That's how we pay for everything around here. If that's something you can do, great. If it's not, that's all right. Thank y'all for joining us. I'll be right back. If you're a Patreon member, we'll have Patreon videos this week. Plus, you'll get like sneak peeks and probably behind the scenes. You'll probably get, you'll get to see more, because what's going to happen is I'm going to upload it, and then I'm going to wait for it to be approved for monetization. And I'm sure there'll be stuff in the video I'll have to cut out to get it monetized. So you'll get like the extended cut if you get it early enough, especially if it doesn't get monetized. And then you'll be there with the rest of the videos. I'll probably premiere them on one night when I don't stream. I'll premiere the videos. But either way, thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate it. All the hate watchers, 170, 180 or whatever on Rumble, hit the like button on the way out. And we'll see you on the next one. Love you. See you. Bye.
But I can tell you this.
Coldbeer.fund, coldbeer.fund, where you can contribute to the show and keep it going if you want to.
Fork and balls to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the fork and balls. You don't have the balls.
I don't know about the screenshot of Trump shitting himself. I know that multiple people from the courtroom came out and was like, Trump shit himself. It was disgusting. It was horrible. He did it multiple times in his sleep. I wasn't there, of course. All I can go off of is everybody saying it in the courtroom. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believers? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like four in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, beating his chest like he's King Kong. But I haven't seen a screenshot of anything. Your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst.
Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped it to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Whoa, wait. Stop. What? What? I'll get my files. Wait, what are you doing? Stop. Hold on. Fucking stop. Dude, come on. Seriously. This is my mom's an alcoholic. Give me a time.
I think that people from Midas Touch reported it, and then George Conway did it, and a couple more people that had people in the courtroom.
You know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up.
Ladies and gentlemen, the president.
Federal. See you guys.
Please say it isn't so. Got him backed up on the ropes, trying to ram it.
No, the screenshot was the headline was fabricated.
Doing so well. It's all over.
I'm not talking about a headline. I'm talking about people reporting from inside the. So Jimmy Kimmel first said it, that he had talked to people that had done it, and then Midas Touch came out with it, and then George Conway, husband of Kellyanne Conway, said that he had people, he knew people inside the courtroom that were reporting it. I didn't see a headline anywhere.
This time of the night.
These are people reporting from in the courtroom, or from people that were in the courtroom.
Baby eating heathens, believing in reasons with no meaning is bullshit. Will Bird motherfuckers out here busting the grifts. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place.
That was with him falling asleep and farting in the courtroom, I guess.
Buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit.
Yeah.
Piss him off,
That he fell asleep multiple times, and they said they couldn't tell who shit in the courtroom, but it was pretty rough multiple times, and it was from that side of the court. I guess they didn't see his asshole.
Wearing aviator glasses in your mother's basement, and I won't even give out your.
Yeah, I didn't see it from CNN though. I understand what you're saying. Someone took and made it look like CNN reported that Trump shit himself. I did not see it there. I saw it from people who were already saying this, from people in the courtroom. Have a good night, guys.